Well, hello there and welcome to Conversations with Subscribers. It is I, UK Danger Man, and today I am with Reaver of Jill Sandwiches. How are you, my friend?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
I say I can't really complain. Setting the stream up took a little bit of doing, so if there are any sound issues, do let us know. This is on a different rig upstairs. This is my video making rig, so I don't really do much streaming on it. So yeah, if there's any problems, do let us know. Hello to everybody in the chat, and yeah, we're going to be talking about probably an array of things as our conversations tend to go, Reaver.
Definitely Resident Evil will make it in there.
Yeah. Well, we couldn't really leave Resident Evil out of it. We are both massive super fans of that franchise.
Oh yeah.
So hello Watch Nerd, hello Librarian, hello Snorterpoopus. I still love that name, Snorterpoopus. How are you guys? Are you okay? It's good to have you here. So yeah, Reaver, we do have a lot of conversations, obviously in the Discord, when the sort of algorithms in bloom, and it's usually very late at night.
Yeah,
early for you, late for me.
We'll do that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest gripes I have about YouTube is just your audience is just everywhere. So you have a lot of things like time differences, and I'm usually ready to go to bed by the time you're ready to talk. So it's been it's been a bit of a challenge to get us both on the same stream. But yeah, we usually end up talking about this, that, and absolutely everything else on top. From Star Trek to Resident Evil and gaming in general, Let's Plays, and Reaver has his own channel, of course. It is Reaver of Jill Sandwiches. It is linked in the description below, so feel free to check out Reaver's channel and watch.
If you guys want to see a blind man, sorry,
that's all right.
If you want to see a blind man play video games,
yeah, it's always a challenge, I can imagine. As you know, I've seen a lot of YouTubers do the blindfold challenge, in which case they act upon instruction. But I can imagine that you know your vision brings you an extra set of challenges as well.
Did you ever see the video series? The Games Librarian sent it to me. It was this guy, and he had some sort of an AI program. I don't know if it was ChatGPT or something else. And he basically had it take on the persona of Jill Valentine. And he said, okay, I'll present everything, to the AI as far as Resident Evil 1. And he would do exactly what the AI said it thought Jill would do in that situation.
Really?
It's hilarious. So, like, there are moments where he wants to pick up ammo or something, but the AI is like, no, I want to prioritize ink ribbons because I might want to save my progress.
Just taking the safe approach, literally the safe approach.
And the funniest one, and I can't remember the exact quote, but the AI had Jill getting jealous of Rebecca because Rebecca's younger. And she was constantly going on about not wanting zombies to bite her booty, and that was hilarious.
Well, that's the fun you can have with AI, and I suppose AI is obviously quite a big thing nowadays. With with the several different variations out there. I always found it quite funny that, in a lot of movies that depict the end of the world, AI is quite prominent, but it's always just one AI. I think we've got about 12 now.
Yeah.
And I suspect that there's going to be something of a rivalry between the 12 AIs, and whichever one we're left with, we're just going to be enslaved under anyway.
I don't know. I still give humanity till 2050.
You reckon?
I've had that opinion since about 2012 or 13. So, and over the last 10 years, we're not proving me wrong.
No, it's not quite been the Skynet takeover that we all thought that it would be. Right. Considering that it right now it's. I mean, it has come an awful long way in just the last 6 months. to a
Oh yeah.
year. I remember seeing an AI video where someone asked it to generate a video of Will Smith eating a cheeseburger, and well, to be quite honest with you, it looked like something out of a horror film, perhaps even Resident Evil.
Well, there you go.
And now, 6 months to a year later, we are seeing some much better footage. It's still not quite there, but it's definitely much better than it used to be.
Yeah, I used it. So my next Let's Play project is going to be God of War 2. This isn't something that we'll be posting until probably March. But what I wanted to do was tie it into the spin-off game, which was made to explain his actions, Kratos, the main character, his actions at the start of God of War 2. But it's funny because that game never references those events. So I thought, well, let me find an AI Kratos voice, give him some lines of dialogue that address that, because it only takes 10, 15 seconds of dialogue, and then you move about your way.
Yeah.
So it's a little jank, but I did come up with something. So whenever I do God of War 2, I'm going to throw that in.
Nice. Nice. It's also, to be fair, AI can get quite sort of scary at how good it is at generating stuff. I mean, for this channel, I've only really sort of toyed with the odd AI image. Certainly with the show that we've created. Trying to get it to create an image of Chief O'Brien was an interesting challenge, because I think you have 15 free prompts a day, and yet you have to spend that 15 prompts building up and gradually getting it to understand what you're saying. And all I wanted was sort of like a passing of the torch scene between O'Brien and his son Kiriyoshi O'Brien. So cool. yeah, the image is up. It's somewhere on the Odyssey stuff, but it gave me Chief O'Brien, or what it thought was Chief O'Brien, which was just generic old guy. Yeah. So I said, no, could you use the same image? Because the background's absolutely fine. Could you, using the same image, could you stick Colin Meaney in there, but age him up slightly? And it did it. And every single step of the way, you have to remind it to keep all the other elements in. Otherwise, it will literally just throw anything together with your later. It's such a bizarre thing. You have to be so specific. It is kind of like speaking to an autistic child that takes everything you say literally.
Right.
Yeah, it's really difficult to create stuff.
Yeah, I witnessed a friend of mine try to create stuff. He's doing this over online on Discord, cyberpunk tabletop game with a number of our friends. And I've talked to him before while he's been trying to create different AI images for it. And yeah, it's pretty interesting watching him do that.
It's interesting to see what they come up with. Because the amount of times I've asked it to put Sydney Sweeney in something, and it's not Sydney Sweeney. It's literally generic blonde girl. It's like, no, take Sydney Sweeney's face and put it. It just takes me back to the days of the days of very, very early internet PORN. They just cut the head off of Janeway and stick her on a naked woman in the shower.
My guess is Xell has probably been banned from several of those AI programs for trying the same thing.
It's going to be the downfall of us all when the AI turns around and says, "You see what that guy has been requesting? I think you all need to go. You all need to leave immediately."
It's the apocalypse, and it's all Xell's fault.
Blame the apocalypse on Xell, bless him. Hope everyone in the chat is okay. Yeah, Watch Nerd. I think Battlestar Galactica style apocalypse with AI. Yeah, probably. Although maybe without the good-looking androids. I don't know. We've asked for Sydney Sweeney enough. They might make one in her image. You never know.
Hey, I wouldn't mind that being the last thing I see.
No, absolutely. I mean, that along with the words gazpacho soup, you'll be absolutely fine.
Right. I'm thinking of a few things that I can't say on YouTube right now.
Well, usually with streams, it's the first half an hour that you just have to
Yeah.
taper it a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, AI is very, very interesting. Very interesting subject in a minute, because it's been used for obviously a vast array of stuff. You've got your chat models, you've got your image creators and whatnot, and there is a small part of me that goes, well, you just take over the world already, because I don't think we're doing a very good job of it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. A friend of mine is let's playing that X-Files PS2 game.
Oh yeah.
And I'm watching him play that, and I'm thinking to myself, it would be awesome to see AI take the story and the dialogue and everything from the game and make a realistic looking episode out of it.
Yeah, that might be interesting. Because the X-Files games, weren't they? They were sort of lost episodes, if I recall.
They came out after. So there was the PS1 one, which was a point and click thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Started somebody completely different. So I don't know, that one didn't really matter to me. But the other ones for the PS2, that one, I don't know if they were episodes that they had ideas for but never did, or if it was just something written after the show ended. And they set it in the 7th season because that was the last one with both Mulder and Scully.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because
in it full time.
I think, was it Robert Patrick came on for the 8th season?
Yeah. And it's in a very, you might appreciate it even though it's jank as hell. It's in a very Resident Evil style with a little bit of Silent Hill in there. So
well, that's a mixture of my two favorite franchises right there in terms of games.
Yeah, but
so that's brilliant.
It's implemented badly though. It's not very good.
I think a lot of times that game companies try to emulate Resident Evil, they kind of fail, or even the game style, they kind of fail.
Well, a lot of times they don't take all the good aspects and they don't learn from the mistakes of Resident Evil. And I think that's part of what happened there, because like it doesn't clue you in a lot of times on what you need to do. You'll pick up something and it's like, oh, okay, I got a gold key. Where do I use that at? Or something along those lines. And it's like, okay, so now you got to trudge across the map. Whereas, okay, like say Resident Evil 2, you get a precinct key. Well, you can examine the precinct key and it'll tell you which doors it opens.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of my favorite aspects about Resident Evil, was the fact that you could examine your items and find clues to exactly where it goes.
Yeah. And
that works.
And my friend doing the Let's Play kind of described the game as you just kind of have to beat your face against the wall until you get results, sort of a thing.
Well, I found it interesting, really, because I think back to when I first played games like Resident Evil, the hours you spent just trying to tap around the entire map to try and find that hidden ammo. And you were rewarded a few times with a box of ammo or a weapon box key or something like that. But it was the fun of going around and exploring. I love exploring in games.
Absolutely.
I think that element is really important in a video game, because I look at Resident Evil and the ammo and item sort of spacing throughout the game, and then you compare it to a game like The Last of Us. Now, the very first Last of Us, you're in a lot of open areas. There's all these derelict cars, but you can't search them. And there's not an awful lot.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, there's not an awful lot to find. It's a beautiful game, and there's a lot of dense scenery and environments. But trying to find ammo or trying to find anything else out there, you're not going to find any, because there is none. I'm thinking, you've got all these abandoned cars that were left. It would be really awesome if you could, I don't know, crack open a boot or a door or something like that to find items that people have abandoned.
Absolutely. That's part of the fun of exploring.
Yeah, it makes it all worth it. I mean, you did have doors that you jimmy open in terms of buildings and stuff, but it was only en route to where you were going. So I always found that a little bit sort of unsatisfying.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just putting a link to your stream in my posts on my channel so
Oh,
that
bless
anybody
you.
on my channel can pop in as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Here we go.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think streams on a Sunday are always a good idea because it's the day of rest for a lot of people, so they can sit there and just veg and listen to streams or watch game streams. So,
Exactly.
um,
Yeah, I remember playing the original Resident Evil 3. That was my first one.
yeah,
And I had never seen anything like that before. I was like, wait a second, I can actually picture myself walking in these environments. Like,
yeah,
I can actually picture something like this existing. Now, in later years, I would start to really think about the environments and think, hey, wait a second, a lot of these environments don't make sense. But, that wasn't the point at the time. It was the first type of game I'd ever seen look like that.
mm. Yeah,
And to think,
absolutely.
too, I was going there to buy Resident Evil 2 originally. My brother had taken me to our local Best Buy at the time. And he's like, well, you could get this. He's like, but hey, Resident Evil 3 is here. It's the new one. It's got to be the better one, right? I was like, oh, all right. And I mean, I love all three of the original games, so it doesn't really matter. But I was like, oh, yeah, I'll take 3. And been a Jill Valentine enthusiast ever since. So, hey.
Dreaming of that Jill sandwich.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, yeah, I get what you mean about being able to picture yourself in those environments because the human mind
Yeah.
can generate, you know, can generate some fantastic images in your own mind. And I could certainly close my eyes and walk around the RPD because
Yep.
and it doesn't matter if the angle's not shown in the game. Your mind can fill in the gaps, and you can sort of picture it.
Exactly.
It's how artists work.
Yeah. And
But
that's why oh, sorry.
no, it's all right. I'm just saying that it's amazing when you can do that when the environments become so familiar. I couldn't, for
Yeah.
example, I've played The Evil Within once, and I couldn't tell you a damn thing about the game.
Nope.
It's just not memorable to me.
Right. Yeah, but you dropped me in the Spencer Mansion, in the RPD, in the lab,
Yeah,
in several of the areas in Resident Evil 3. Yeah, I can navigate most of that quite
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Would be no
absolutely.
problems. But I mean, the reason I mentioned, my story of, Resident Evil 3 was because, yeah, like I would walk around, once I realized that if I hit X on everything, I'd get a description and, oh, hey, I hit X on this thing and, oh, I picked up an item. Well, I guess I need to look around. And of course, if you look around that starting area, you'll find bullets, you'll find gunpowder,
Yeah,
ink ribbons, a first aid spray, like just all these different things you can which again, I had never really played a game like that. The closest one I can think of would have been the first Tenchu, but that was a completely different beast.
yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
and I don't know how realistic I would say those environments were. Whereas these, I could, they were a lot more detailed since they were fixed camera angles,
Mm.
so they could put a lot more stuff in there.
And they always look so much better on the CRT than a LCD TV.
Oh yeah,
It's quite striking, really. I really want to get myself a CRT and have the games hooked up on the original. But I mean, to be fair to the guys over at the HD Seamless project, they did a superb job making these games look more modern.
oh yeah.
And I'm surprised, really, that Capcom haven't actually gone to them and said, "Hey guys, want to make a game for us, or want to make our remastered versions for us?"
I mean, they've already done most of the work. You would think all they'd have to do is go in there and pay them a little bit, and then maybe fine tune a few things on
Yeah,
their end, and then release it.
yeah, and you wouldn't be dealing with the original versions, which means I think you'd bring in an awful lot more support for that, and an awful lot more interest in seeing those titles. But other studios have done it. You're looking at
Yeah.
look at Soul Reaver, for example,
Yep.
and
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider, and just giving the game a basic facelift. I think
Yeah.
really, those games have sold really quite well.
Well,
So
you think about it, not only I'm sorry,
that's all right.
the God, what was I going to say now? The remaster.
Hmm.
So not only do you have that, but you also have I think it's called Classic Rebirth, where it gives you all kinds of options like in-game reload,
Oh
door
yeah,
skip,
yeah,
all those wonderful things that could be added to a remastered version of the trilogy that they could put out.
Yeah, and I think the interest would be so high for it. I've used the in-game reloading on some of my
Oh yeah.
streams on my gaming channel, and it is just so much easier. It's so wonderful
Yep.
just to not have to go into a menu to do something as simple as reload a gun. And the animation's already there because when you run out of ammo, you reload the gun.
Yep. And it's one of those things that you don't think about back in the day.
No.
Oh, I gotta go. I need to reload. So go into my inventory because I don't want to run out. But now, after over 20 years, oh yeah, it's such a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes the world of difference. To again, these games were in their heyday were really good, and they've stayed really good. You know,
The thing is,
I may be just a little bit nostalgic, but I think it's more than that.
I think they would do well because I think the Tomb Raider remasters did well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know about Soul Reaver,
Mm.
but I think the Tomb Raider remasters did pretty
Oh,
well.
they did so well. They did the next 3 games.
Yeah.
So they did
So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 Chronicles
yeah,
and Revelation and whatever Angel of Darkness, I think it was.
yeah, that
Um,
was it. That's the one I think a lot of people don't want to talk about.
that's the one. That's the one that don't exist, man. It don't exist. It's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember buying that.
Uh,
I bought it on PS2, and it was a very interesting experience because
I
a,
can't.
a lot of the frustrations that you had with the original trilogy were there, but they were worse.
Yeah. Well, just from a story perspective, imagine I can just imagine playing was it Revelation or whatever that one's called, where Laura dies at the end, or
Yes.
seemingly dies at the end, and then she's just back, and it's like, shouldn't this have happened in a cutscene? What's going on? And then it just goes wackadoo from there.
Yeah.
Not to
Yeah.
mention now she has to get stronger, and she doesn't have auto aim dual wielding pistols anymore.
Yeah. That seems to be something that you don't. You have to not take away in a Tomb Raider game is Lara Croft's dual wielding pistols,
Yeah.
which they did for the remake. Well, not the remake, the reboot, should I say?
Yeah.
A few years back, and I like that reboot. To be fair, the very first game, I kind of liked it, but
That
not
voice
as a
actress.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's right. I was just saying, probably not as a primary, Tomb Raider game, but almost
Right.
just like an origin story. I thought it was not too bad at all.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that voice actress, she could do her Lara voice and read me the phone book or a grocery list, and I'd be happy.
She did have an absolutely. I think she really suited the voice for Lara Croft.
Absolutely.
But that
Yeah.
game, it's got elements of a lot of different movies and obviously TV shows. I think it's primarily sort of Lost, isn't it? You know, the islands
Yeah.
that no one can escape. Hello, DJ Play Nice. Welcome. Yeah, I remember having a very clear choice between getting that for £20 from our local Asda, which is actually Walmart as well. So we do have Walmart over here.
Okay.
Yeah, because they bought Asda out. So
Oof.
although they don't sort of. I'm not sure whether it's still the case, but it's Asda Walmart, and it was Tomb Raider going for £20, and I had exactly £20 of my money.
Nice.
You know, stuff that was money that was mine to decide what I did with, not the government's or not the gas bill or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted a new game, and it was a choice between that and Far Cry 3, I believe, and I went for Tomb Raider instead of Far Cry 3, and I haven't regretted it to this day. I have not regretted it. I think as a game, it's a really well-rounded title. Now the critical drinker has been critical of that game, and I do respect a lot of his opinions. But in this case, the story really wasn't a big one for me. It was the gameplay. They
Yeah.
don't always have to go hand in hand. I think if you're making a TV show, then yeah, the story's got to captivate and it's got to be solid. It's got to be a solid, well-rounded experience. But if you're talking about a game, as long as you follow basic story points and story bites, the gameplay is what matters because primarily it is a game
Yeah.
and it's got to be fun to play.
And I've heard, because there's a long rant video I saw about that game where this guy did not like the game at all.
Mm.
And it's interesting. He reviewed every Tomb Raider game, so it was an interesting video series to watch. And he definitely has some valid points.
Mm.
There are definitely some elements of Tomb Raider where I'm like, yeah, well, one, the tomb should have been mandatory. I don't think those should have been
Side
optional.
quests, yeah.
Like, yeah, you should have had to have gone in there for something, because those were generally the best parts. There should have been more puzzle solving, maybe a little less combat, but overall, it's not a bad game though.
Mm.
Like,
Oh
like
yeah, visually, I think it's gorgeous.
yeah. Oh, even for like 2012 or 13, whenever it came out, I
Mm.
replayed it earlier this year, and yeah, I mean, it still holds up pretty well. Like, you can tell it's a bit of an older game, but it's not like, oh my god, what's happening here?
Yeah. Yeah, and the game really impressed me visually. I think it was brilliant. Yeah, the mechanics were fantastic.
Well,
But
at the time, I'm sorry, at the time, like for me, I thought it had to be one of the best looking games I had ever seen.
yeah, when you're climbing up that communications tower, that was something else. You know, thinking, how high am I going here? And then you see
Yeah.
this surrounding area, and it's like Jesus. And then when you zip line from the top, and I think you sort of head down through a series of um, I think it's just a series of slides, mudslides, and stuff like that. You end
Yeah,
up
there's a
right down back at the beach, and
yeah, yeah,
it's like
there's like this long plane crash. There's like a plane crash sequence,
yeah,
and then you have to do this running segment from that, and then
that's
you're right,
right,
you end
yeah.
up at the beach.
Yeah, yeah, and I just thought, wow, that's just phenomenal. The game was just handled it flawlessly. Librarian says that they don't own Asda anymore. They sold it off. No, I can't really say I'm surprised, but yeah, there's a little updated correction from the games librarian.
He's
Walmart
always doing that.
Walmart don't own Asda. Hey, I'd rather be factually accurate than wrong.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Um, but no, absolutely beautiful game. It's got
Yeah.
a degree of replayability as well. You can't new game plus it, but you can go back to the island and complete anything that you've missed, which was a nice addition. But the two sequels that followed, I think, got progressively weaker as they went along.
They did. I do want to play them again, but they absolutely did. The third game, Shadow, I feel like that game definitely needed more time in the oven because it felt rushed.
Yeah, yeah. Not only in the visuals and the gameplay, but in the code itself, it didn't run
Yeah.
particularly smooth on any system. And I was really disappointed with that. I was more annoyed with I think it was Crystal Dynamics at the time. I was more annoyed with them with the second game because they went and put a 1 year exclusivity deal with Xbox,
Yeah.
which means I had to get myself an Xbox 360 and buy it on 360. Now, don't get me wrong, 360s were cheap back then. And I did need one again because I used to have one. I did need one for the collection, so I went and bought one for about 60 quid, I think. And then,
Oh, nice.
then the game wasn't very good on there. It was incomplete.
Mm.
There were massive holes in the rock faces and stuff. It wasn't finished.
Yeah. I played it on PS4 originally.
Yeah. Yeah, you were patient. You see, you waited for the anniversary edition to come out. The blue one. We got the blue case over here.
Yep.
It's like a blue
Yep,
cardboard
we got
case.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got that too.
yeah, and it was very very peculiar, but it did look better on PS4, so we'll give it that.
Yeah. Well, I was blown away because I saw a friend of mine play it on PC at that time, and oh my God, I remember being impressed by that. So I am looking forward to trying that again on PC at some point.
Oh hell yeah, Yeah,
with certain mods attached because, why not?
the summer mods, we call them the summer mods.
Oh, okay, okay. Nothing like seeing her going around in a summer mod
No,
in
absolutely.
ice and snow.
Yeah, yeah. It's very cold, very cold. Um, but no, I liked, I think they're all right. The Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider game, but it did get progressively worse, and I think I'm I'm getting a little older now with each passing day, and I'm definitely leaning towards I prefer gameplay rather than how it looks.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a 2D side scrolled shooter coming for Terminator, and I cannot wait for that. I'm so excited for this low pixel count side scrolling Terminator game because it looks like fun.
And
Whereas
that's the key.
that's the key. That's why we go and play games because they're fun. I was playing, and I've started playing quite a lot of Sniper V5. I think it's Sniper V5 or something like that. And that is a tremendous amount of fun because you're just dropped in the middle of really large maps, and you just go around, essentially, killing Germans of, from back in the war. Those lovely Nazis,
ill repute?
Germans of ill repute. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great because you can just choose how you go about it, and you can spend a good decent amount of time on it, and it's fun. It's not janky. Yeah. It's visually impressive, and the effing haptics work on the PS5, which is nice. Such a nice, refreshing thing to have for the PlayStation 5 is the trigger resistance on it, which a lot of new games don't seem to utilize. Fucking hell. Still can't believe that.
I know for me, I was just talking with a friend of mine on Discord a few months ago, and I was like, well, we're just talking anyway. So I just booted up God of War 1 on the PS2 emulator. And I'm just, messing around with that while we talk. And I'm like, oh, hey, it's a balance beam section. Let me save state here. Let me see if I can jump across it. Of course, I tried about 50 times, did not succeed at all at even landing my first jump. But you know what? I had fun. And it was such a joy to play that now I'm revisiting those old God of War games.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what my friend I was talking to at the time had said. He's like, I think you need to replay these games because you're having fun. And I'm like, I forget what game I was playing at the time that I was kind of irritated with, but I thought about it and I was like, yeah, you know what? He's right. Like, if I put on God of War, I'm having a good time. Like, that's what gaming should be.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I remember the Just Cause games. I played the Just Cause games, predominantly 2 and 3, because they are just sandbox fun. Dead Rising off the record, Dead Rising 2 off the record, good solid fun. You just go around and do whatever hell you want, unwind a little bit, and you're not bogged down by pretentious storytelling. And I think,
and by the way, if any of the folks in the chat would like to see more of our boy Danger Man streaming, be sure to subscribe to his gaming channel and be sure to encourage him to do more streams on there and then show up and watch the streams.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That plug there. I take the hint well, my friend. I will take the hint and do some more streaming on the gaming channel, because I know I've still got to get Silent Hill 2 done. Trigger resistance. Seriously, can you set the trigger to pull by pounds, or is it a default? Usually it's a default with the PS5. You do have adaptive triggers, so when you draw back your gun, for example, you'll pull the left trigger button, and you'll feel the resistance. It'll push against you, and then for the right hand trigger, it will allow you to depress it halfway, and then it will stop you, and then you pull it, and it'd be like an actual trigger. The PlayStation
Oh, cool.
5 is, I think, it is the best console, but it's probably best because of the DualSense 5, and that's why they say with the DualSense 5, it's got such tremendous features that are quite often wasted. Um, when you're playing something like, for example, Gran Turismo, the Sony racing game. Obviously, the different cars have different levels of stiffness or looseness, and it reflects with every different car in your triggers because it's your accelerator. And if it happens to be going over a camber, like the rumble cambers, rumble on the outside of the track, the trigger will literally do this and try and kick your finger off of it, and you can adjust how sensitive, how strong it is. But the weak one, it's not for angry gamers, we'll put it that way, because otherwise you won't feel it. You can push against those all you like. If you've got strong hands and you're quite an aggressive gamer, you're probably not going to feel it. But if you're a subtle gamer, it's there more than you think. And it's a tremendous console, tremendous controller. I think I hold an Xbox controller because I've got several. I do actually have an Xbox One. And I have to say, I'm not impressed with the controllers at all. There's something really horrid about just a spring-loaded trigger button when you've got something like the DualSense 5.
Yeah, I'll have to try that at some point. I've never had a PS5, but my only thing is I wish they would come out with more games for it.
In sense of compared to Steam.
I mean, just, more games to come out, because it seems like they mostly promote third-party games as far as I know anyways. Like, I know there are some exclusive games. I know they just came out with was it the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah, Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah, but I don't blame Sony just for this. I know, like, we haven't had a Gears of War this generation either. I don't think we've had a Halo, so it's just something I was thinking of, where it's kind of sad that now it takes forever to get a new release in a game series.
Yeah, because they're all concentrating on making the game run so beautifully and so well, forgetting, of course, that there are a lot of gamers out there that still play Resident Evil 2 original and have and they're playing with a character that looks like this, with the face all scrunched up and heavily pixelated. There are I love the fact that there are more pixels in Lady Dimitrescu's left butt cheek in Resident Evil Village than there are in the entirety of Resident Evil 1 for the PlayStation.
Oof.
I mean, that's absolutely staggering to me. There are more pixels. And that's fine. You make the game look really good. Absolutely fine. Got no issue with that. But you don't take the fun out of it. Why take the fun out of it? Why make it, it's like, and this is not the only problem I have with The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 I have a lot of issues with. But one of the issues is the fact that they seem to want to immerse the player in superfluous side quests and side games that make no sense. I'm sorry, but I'm there because there's an apocalyptic event and I'm trying to survive in that world, and I've got missions to go on, I've got things to do. I don't want to sit there and strum a fucking guitar.
No.
That's not why I'm playing the game.
I'm not a fan of side quests myself. I understand they have a place, particularly in RPGs, but in general, I'm not a fan of them. If they can be kept to a minimal and you get a decent reward for doing them, like in the OG Silent Hill, you had a side quest that if you went on it, you got a better ending.
Yes.
So, there are times when, it does make sense to go ahead and do it, and you get more story out of it too, which is a lot of the point for Silent Hill. But yeah, in general, when you got a game like The Last of Us 2, which is already a long game anyways, our boy Gunner streamed that on his channel what about a month or so
Much
ago.
love and respect to Guna.
Yeah, and I missed a lot of that because, if I had other things to do or if he streamed at a time that I was just unavailable, I only had to revisit one part of a stream that I actually caught, but had missed like the beginning part of it, and I got most of the story.
Yeah,
Like I probably missed some details about what happened to this side character or that side character, but I got most of the story from what I saw of his streams.
yeah.
And I'm just like, some games don't need to be that long either.
No, no, and I am all for getting my money's worth. We had this conversation
Sure.
a few days back, and I'm gonna repeat the damn conversation for those of you out there who care enough about it. Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater, the Metal Gear Solid remake of Snake Eater. I've got a huge problem, and quite honestly, I want my money back. I genuinely want my money back for that game, because it is beat for beat the same game that was released, all those years ago on the PlayStation 2. It's just had a facelift, and the reason I bought it is because it is mainly that was one of the reasons, is because it looked really pretty, and I thought maybe they've gone and done something with this game that makes it a little more interesting in terms of the way it plays. No, not really. It's exactly the same game, exactly the same things happen, which is fine,
Yeah.
and I much respect to them for that. But if you're going to release it on PlayStation 5, and as far as I know, it's an exclusive to PlayStation 5.
It's on PC as well.
It's on PC as well.
Yeah.
Most things are, to be fair.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about it. It might be a Series X as well. But either way, you're releasing it on the PlayStation 5 again with the haptic on the controllers, the force trigger feedback. It's not there. It says it's there, but it's not. On every single shot you fire, it's not there. You don't feel it at all, and that I was beginning to think, right, well they've got to patch it to make it work clearly. So I'll wait for the day 1 patch or the day 2 patch, whatever it is. I'll wait for them to patch it, and I'll see how that goes. They didn't patch it, so I thought, fuck it, I'll just complete the game because I've got it now. I might as well go through and complete it. I know what to do because I've played it before. Yeah, beat for beat, it's exactly the same, and there's one shot in the entire game that has the haptic feedback. And it's the final shot. It's the kill shot at the end. Anyone who's played those games knows exactly what the shot I'm talking about. It's the kill shot at the end. And I paused the game after that moment because it was essentially over. I paused it and I just said out loud, "Are you effing kidding me?" That's the only, it's gunplay all the way through the game. You can't feel your way through the game. Like I said, it's identical to as if you were playing it on a PlayStation 2.
They showed that they can do it, but they just chose not to.
Well, that's as far as I'm concerned. That was. I mean, I went on all these different forums and Q&A sites to see if anyone else was having haptic feedback issues. The fact that there is none, and there were a select few people going, "Hey, where's the haptics? I bought the PS5 version. I should have haptic feedback." But no official. I even messaged Konami themselves. In my infinite capacity, being as I'm such a world-renowned YouTuber, I messaged them. I messaged them and says, "Look, I don't think this is right. Where are the haptic controls? Is it broken? Does it need fixing? Have you just put it in that one shot at the end of the game?" Which I think is just stupid. You might as well utilize if it's there.
Absolutely.
And the makers of that remake actually went to Kojima and said, "Look, we've remade this game. We're very, very proud of it. It was all an homage to your fantastic work. Would you please play it?" And he turned around and said, "No." Just no, I'm not. And I can't. In some ways, I can't fault him for the way Konami treated him. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big. That is a big problem. Now I spent 70 quid on that game.
It's tough because one, from what you're telling me, it sounds like why charge 70 for a game like that? That's essentially a remaster, even if it's from the ground up
Yeah.
remake. But at the same time, it's like, how do you balance keeping enough of the same compared to changing things a little bit? Because my issues with especially the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes is just how much they change. Whereas I think something like Resident Evil 1 remake was probably about the best you could do as far as a remake is concerned, of having stuff that's similar enough. The story is still the same, but they add to it.
Well, that was a trapeze artist.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 1 remake was a trapeze artist in perfect balance. It was so good it was almost an anomaly. Because and it was I don't think it was a fluke, but my God, that game is incredible balance. I completely agree. Balance is everything. And I suppose in some ways, if it being the same game is not a real problem for me because I enjoy playing the game. I enjoy being in that world again. And yeah, it looks nice and everything, but it's that you've got a key feature there that you've absolutely wasted and thrown away.
Yep.
So that's one thing less that makes it unique and gives it its own sense of individuality.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, if they did that with Resident Evil 2 and 3, just basically gave us the same game but with upgraded graphics, I mean, I would have been a happy boy. So
Yeah, absolutely. But I probably wouldn't have paid 70 quid for it.
Oh no, absolutely
For each
not.
game.
That's kind of the thing. But if they're gonna do that, then yeah, the game should not be, costing that much.
Oh, I paid 70
So,
for the trilogy, for example.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you put a lot of effort, Konami and the guys at whatever company it was that made it. I'm sure they did a bang up job, and they're all very proud of it. But there was one reason, primarily, that I bought it on PlayStation 5, and that was to utilize the controller to its fullest extent, and it didn't do that, and it was really disappointing. So I've been stung.
And that's a failing on the devs part there, because if this was being made, I think it's a timed exclusive with PS5, at least for consoles.
It
then
might be, yeah.
then yeah, absolutely. Like, they should be taking advantage of those features. I mean, even if they want to say, well, PC gamers, like, well, you can hook up a PS5 controller to the PC as well. So
yeah, and you'll get
what
those haptics. You'll get that feedback.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah. So yeah, they absolutely should be utilizing the PS5 features to their fullest extent.
Yeah, 100%. Hello, Sci-Fi Shipyards. Welcome.
Because
No,
you can keep
you go on, mate.
you can keep loyal to the original product, but still enhance it with convenience, modern conveniences, like what I was saying with Resident Evil 2, for example. If they did what I suggested there, basically give us the same game but with 2019 graphics. If I have to press a button to walk up and down stairs, I'm going to be mad though.
Exactly that. Yeah. Because Resident Evil 3 hit the nail on the head. It was perfect. In the sense that you could just waltz up the stairs. Yes, you'd still have a cutscene, a loading screen in between, but you could traverse those stairs and not actually just wait by them while you figure out what the hell to do next because you can't move. And yeah, you can make those adjustments. You can make those little tweaks and changes. Call it the modern director's cut, because when the guys at Seamless did it. I mean, the Resident Evil 2 version, when you're at the bottom of the stairs near the photo developing save room, the window's out. It's got the window's gone because Nemesis broke through it in the third game, and they've put that little feature in. They put that in to make it a more rounded experience. And I think
great attention to detail,
phenomenal attention to detail. Absolutely brilliant. And they could go through the games and clean up all the continuity issues with the two scenarios and the zapping.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Sci-Fi Shipyards. Anyone else bitterly disappointed with the new Voyager game demo? Yeah, yes, mate. I am solely disappointed because I thought perhaps it would be a new type of resurgence. I think it's called Resurgence. You know, the Star Trek game that I've streamed on here. I thought it'd be a new version of that, but it was I'm bitterly disappointed. I mean, I'm still going to get the demo and see what it's like. I think it's available now, but yeah, not. I'm not that. I don't think I'm that bothered. But it looked nice.
Yeah, I think you and the Games Librarian were talking about that the other day when we were on voice chat.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we were.
I'd had a bit of whiskey at the time, so my memory.
No, that's all good,
not
my
always
friend.
The best.
In fact, where the hell am I? Yeah, I just I'm again very disappointed. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's a good game, and I'm sure it's a game that's people have put a lot of effort into, and it is set in OG Star Trek, so that works for me. And you can you can make different decisions, but I'm not overly impressed otherwise with the direction that it's gone. My question is, who unblocked all them barricades in the RPD? Exactly, and that's another point Games Librarians just made. You know, with regards to the seamless HD, they can go into those games and remove the silly door barricades that are put in the third game. It's like, well, this is before Leon gets here. Who's taking them down? You know, who's unblocked this corridor? You just have the doors unopenable. You just make sure that you can't get into them.
Because they were locked when you get there as Leon and Claire anyways. Like, you have to get an ID card to unlock them. So, yeah, just the door's locked and then you move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why barricade them? I never understood that decision personally.
Or they could put more personality into it since Jill works there. Jill could click on one of the doors and say, "Oh, I won't go down that hallway anymore after what happened last July." And then as a fan, you're like, "Wait, what? What happened?" And like, you don't specify, you just leave that up to fan interpretation, and then you just move on.
Sleazy Wesker hanging around in the corridor
with his trench coat.
Yeah, Miss Valentine, I do believe you owe me a sandwich.
Miss Valentine, have you seen Miss Chambers around anywhere?
I need to take a photo. He's got to do. It's photo ID day for Rebecca Chambers. Yeah. No, Shipyard says no character voices, mannequin-like figures, and no Voyager theme tune, and that super slow scrolling text. What is the D&D on the 1985 BBC computer? Yeah, it's yeah, it doesn't look particularly good. But I mean, you know, that's occasionally what you'll get is a very different game that won't appeal to anybody.
Well, that's unfortunate because I remember seeing you stream Resurgence, you know, a couple of years ago, whenever it was, and it did feel like we were getting a window into new Star Trek, which is what, you know, to turn this back around to your channel's main audience, that's what we wanted ever since Enterprise ended.
Yeah. Yeah, it gave us a Star Trek story in the OG Star Trek era. I streamed a little bit more of it a few weeks ago. Actually, I've still got another stream to go until I get to the end, I think. But it was yeah, it was really nice game, really well thought out, well put together by a great team of fans, and I think that's the biggest thing. Great team of fans, and I think with all of these companies that make these products, the first priority should always be the people you're selling the product to.
Yep. Well, you look at most Star Trek games, and this kind of seems like it might be the mentality of New Trek. Most Star Trek games are shooters. Yes. Sometimes they're walk-around shooters, sometimes they're space shooters, but they're shooters. And it's like, you can have shooting parts. Star Trek had shooting segments in the shows and the movies, but at its core, Star Trek was never an action thriller.
No, First Contact aside, it was never an action thriller.
Right.
Action Picard.
Well, I mean, they could have action moments. They could have action movies, action episodes occasionally. Like
Yeah,
they were rare, but they did happen. But the next week, you're dealing with Data reading poetry or something. Like, I mean, I
yeah,
don't know. Like, you're dealing with something else, like, or Data going unhinged because his father decided to activate some sort of recall program.
yeah,
They can tell a plethora of different stories.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I never understood, especially with New Trek, with how poorly the people that making it know that it's received, where it's like, why wouldn't you go to individual stories every episode?
Mm.
That way, at least maybe people can find an episode here or there they like.
Why wouldn't you go to the fans? Why wouldn't you go to the
Yep.
fans and ask? Okay, so we've just inherited Star Trek, obviously with this merger deal. We are going to need to speak to you guys on the fans and the people out there who actually watch this stuff, and you tell us what you want to see.
Especially after those movies that most fans didn't care for. Yeah, you would think absolutely. They'd be like, okay, we know these films weren't very well received. So what do you guys want? Like, yeah, that would absolutely would have been the thing that would have made the most sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Instead,
yeah,
we get arrogance
and uh, and teen angst and
and no accountability.
no accountability and back chatting on the bridge. You know,
Yep.
demeaning your commanding officers, being all
Yeah.
entitled, and being being slightly bigger than normal and still being able to compete in athletic events. So
Yep.
none of it makes any sense. And
Yeah.
if you made it fun and interesting, people would watch it. But that
Yep.
New Trek is not fun and interesting.
Well, it's
It's
just,
to me, New Trek is the kind of, it's like when you're on a date and you it's kind of a blind date, and the first thing that the other person says is, before we get started, you need to know I'm fun, interesting, and hilarious. You're gonna love me. It's like,
oh, God.
I'm the fucking judge of that, not you, my darling.
Yeah.
And equally, if I'm not going to turn around to you and say I am remotely fucking interesting.
Right.
Um, but yeah, New Trek tends to do that. It tends to go, why don't you like me? Because don't you get it? Don't you get it? I'm fun and funny, and I'm not in any way insulting. It's like,
Right.
but you are, and you're not the
Yeah.
thing I'm looking for. Star Trek, New Trek is not Star Trek, as I've said many
Right.
times. It just doesn't belong under the title Star Trek.
Well, it just goes to show like how many properties are made. We'll just use Star Trek as an example since it's what we're talking about. But how many properties are made, be it new Trek shows or those JJ movies or a lot of the games where it's like, okay, this doesn't appeal to Star. This isn't Star Trek.
Mm.
Like, why are we doing this here? Because I feel like you could add some, even just in just like a shooter game. I feel like you could still add some elements that are Star Trek and make it, feel like more of a Star Trek thing.
Yeah, yeah, you could. And I think Resurgence does that well. I think
From
it
what I've seen, yeah.
well, I mean, you're scanning with tricorders, you're repairing shuttles and transporters, you're firing phases, you're piloting shuttles, you're in diplomatic settings, and you've got to make the right decisions for the right outcomes. And it's a very well-rounded experience. Yes, graphically you could say it's janky as hell and it's a bit buggy here and there, but my God, it's not a AAA title, and they've done a
Right.
superb job of making it as Star Trek as they come. And I
I want to
hope
add,
that they do it again.
agreed. And also want to add, also getting talked down to by admirals, I'm sure.
Yes, yes, with sheer fucking hubris and all of that.
Yeah.
I'd be happy
So,
with a Trek version of asteroids at this point. Yeah. Hell, I'd be happy with I'd be happy with a Trek version of anything that's Trek at this point.
yeah.
It's
What?
it's ridiculous. You got all of these games that a lot of Star Trek games have really struggled to enter the AAA market. They never really have. I
Yeah.
always remember Elite Force. that was a great game. I used to love playing Elite Force, but they released it on the PlayStation. It didn't play quite as well on the PlayStation, to be fair. It was very
I can see
awkward.
that.
Very
Yeah.
awkward.
That was probably better served as a PC gamer, or game. But at the time, how many people PC gamed?
Probably not a
Game,
lot.
yeah, gaming was a lot more niche at that point in time, and anybody who did play usually had a PlayStation 2, maybe an Xbox or a GameCube, but typically PlayStation 2.
Well, I have a friend of
Okay.
mine. A friend of mine was a big PC gamer, and
Okay.
it turned out back in that day you didn't really need much to run PC games, because
Oh.
your PC would just be a PC. You know, a lot of
Oh
those
wow.
PCs would run. I remember my mum bought herself a computer, cost a lot of money. She decided to treat herself, and it was an Intel Pentium 3, and it ran Final Fantasy 8 beautifully.
Nice.
Didn't need a graphics card or anything. It just ran it beautifully, and I just used to sit and play it all the time. But obviously, modern games, you need a graphics card, a
Yep.
big graphics card. Now, my
Oh yeah.
PC will just about run Star Trek Online, if it's running nothing else. I mean, it nearly blew up doing that HD video, not HD, 4K video, a few weeks back. You need a big ass rig to run a lot of the modern games, and
Yeah.
isn't that also a bit telling
Oh
about
yeah.
where we're heading? Because I can stick a disc, for example, in a PlayStation 5, and I know that the PlayStation 5 will run it, will play it, because
Yeah.
that's what it's for. Yes, it has its limitations, and you can't keep up with the latest technology until the next iteration, and you can't really do anything with them. But PC gaming, I think, is it's more inaccessible to a lot of people than it
Well,
is.
there's a lot of fiddling with it.
Yes.
I mean, not all the time. I don't want to make it sound like PC gaming is always this, complex thing, but there are times where you want to pick up a game and then you go to play it and you realize, oh, I have to actually tinker with stuff. And
Yeah.
I haven't. I will say this though, since we've started off talking Resident Evil, Capcom seems really good, at least from my experience. And I've put in a few of their titles, all Resident Evil, but still on my PC, and I didn't have to do a thing to get them working.
No.
Like they just worked right away. So a lot of that depends on the developer. Like saying Capcom so far is really good at making sure those games run.
Yeah.
When you download them from Steam or wherever you get them, they just work.
Yes. Yeah, they do.
So
hats off to them. You don't have to do anything in particular. As long as your system's capable of doing it, it will run it.
yeah, but that's not true of all games on PC, unfortunately.
No, I couldn't invest in, say, Resident Evil 2 remake for my PC.
Oh,
It would probably. I mean, it's got a graphics card in it. I'm sure it's more than capable of doing it, but it'll turn into a friggin' air fryer.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not built for that sort of thing. I watched them saying at least you can play Star Trek Online though, Danger Man. Yeah, I can, and I have been on Star Trek Online. It's a lot to take in, to actually play it. It says I literally play on an i7 Lenovo. Yeah, I've my laptop downstairs will do it easily. It will do that. Will do Resident Evil and everything. It's just a survivor of a coffee spill, so I try not to put too much on it. I did do a video where I tore it down and cleaned it and everything. It was a freebie from a friend, but it was an Intel i9, laptop, and it can pretty much do anything. But I try not to push it too much. But yeah,
I would be curious. I hadn't caught your last couple 10 forwards, but I would be curious to know how far Watch Nerds got in Star Trek Online. How that's going for.
That'll be a question for Watch Nerd. Then, how far you got on Star Trek Online, Watch Nerd? A Capcom 16-bit Trek fighter game. Yeah. Oh, I think there was a game called Star Trek Explorers. I'm sure it was Star Trek Explorers, and that was a ship battle game, but it was sort of distance. It was a bit like Starfleet Academy in that sense. You were a distance away from the ship. Oh no, Star Trek.
Well, there's Star
God.
Trek Invasion, which was basically Colony Wars.
Yeah, that was Colony Wars. Armada, I beg your pardon. It was kind of like that, but you could directly control the ship and you're flying it around. It was. I'm Lieutenant Commander 16 at the moment. I play in. I play it in fits and starts. Should get back to it today. So that's Watch Nerd.
Okay.
Yeah. Star Trek Online is very appealing. It's got a lot of great additions, and I can see why Xell likes it so much. But it is a big investment to learn how to play it. I used to love the Star Trek Academy games, Sci-Fi Shipyards. Yeah, Star Trek Academy kicked ass back in the day.
And online sounds like also a massive time sink. Like, it sounds like it's fun, but just a massive time sink too.
It can be. I mean, I remember speaking to a friend of mine. I went round his house and he got his big projector up and he was playing Ark Survival Evolved. And I said, "Oh, what's this you're playing?" He says, "It's Ark Survival Evolved, and please save yourself. Never get this game because you will not come off of it." Oof. You know, he just spent so much time on it. He spent 6 months playing this game. Every day when he got home from work, he was on this game, and he lost 6 months of his life. And he says it's just what you can't. It's such an investment in time. By the time you've invested the time to get to know the game, you think, well, I might as well keep playing because I've already invested the time.
Jeez.
Whereas I'm very much a stick the disc in and play the game kind of guy.
Yeah.
I like to be able to pick up where I left off, play a little bit, and and that's all fine, fair.
I'm the same way.
It's all fine. But it's a lot of time to learn how to play Star Trek Online. The nuances, yeah, exactly. I look at the menu and I go cross-eyed. I look at the amount of different things you have to do, shipward things,
I can see that.
Yeah, it's too. I think it's too much. I'm a very simple gamer.
Yeah, I had that experience at first when I played Mass Effect a few years ago, where I was like looking at the menu and all this different stuff, and I'm like, oh my god! And then I was like, oh, okay, it's not actually that bad.
Yeah,
I think it was Mass Effect. It might have been something else. I can't remember, but I thought it was Mass Effect.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm the same way. I just want to put in a game for 20 minutes just to have some downtime, save my game, and then end. Typically I don't usually go for massive gaming sessions. Like sometimes I do, but it's rare.
Yeah, it's rare that I actually get caught up in what I'm doing. I've got kids and I've got Fortnite. Well, I had Fortnite. I've now deleted it because I just never went on it. But for the purpose of sort of playing with the kids, Fortnite's a lot of fun because you just go in and you'll either work with them or you'll hunt them down and take all your frustrations out. Which is a lot of fun, but it's repetitive as hell, and there's nothing changes about it, nothing alters. And when it does, it's really stupid what they do. So there's absolutely no point. And I get the appeal for a lot of young kids with regards to Fortnite, but it's like Fortnite's aimed at a specific audience. Now, you look at games like Call of Duty. It's rapidly becoming Fortnite. They've just turned it into Fortnite. Warzone is essentially Fortnite. You've got this map that you land in, and this storm comes in, or radiation field, or whatever it is. And it's exactly the same setup, and you start getting ridiculous skins like Rick and Morty and Beavis and Butthead, and it's like this Call of Duty. You're taking away from the very core of what it is. And I think
I don't know why they don't just make those MMOs at this point, since it's all the same thing anyways.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. I mean, this is another thing I wanted to broach with you. I was telling you that I bought Battlefield 6. A few days last weekend I bought it. I hadn't been on it until I think it was Friday, possibly Friday.
Yeah.
And I played the main campaign. I've not finished it yet, but it's a very enjoyable shooter. I'm not a big first-person shooter guy, but I do enjoy it. It's enjoyable. But the thing that surprised me the most is when I installed it. Took about 40-50 gig.
Jeez.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, I noticed.
Now, you could say that's a lot, 40, 50 gig. But Call of Duty is 350 gig.
Wow. Yeah, I remember my PS4. I remember that hard drive was always full.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't mind a 50 gig game. You know, I don't mind a 50 gig game because it's got almost a terabyte. It's got 800 gig of usable space. You can probably fit, I don't know, if not every game's 50 gig, but you could probably fit, I don't know, about 20 games on there conservatively, if they're less, they're 50 gig or less, and that's fine. But you install Call of Duty, so what you go out and buy your latest Call of Duty. So I've got this Black Ops 6. I go out and I buy Black Ops 6. I put Black Ops 6 in my PlayStation, and what it does is the disc has barely any information on it whatsoever because it installs in about a fraction of a second. It's an access code on the disc, I think. This is my general guess. It's an access code on the disc for you to download the rest of the game. Now,
that's pretty much it, as far as I know.
Yeah, and now this is installing this game. Fucking hell, what does it say? 145 gig minimum just for this game.
Wow.
145. They can't fit it on the disc. That's why it's not on there. They can't fit it on the disc. 150 gigabytes. Well,
that's why physical media is dying.
Yeah, and but that's not even the worst of it. You're downloading this game for 150 gig of this game, and then it gives you another 200 gig in a game that you don't even want, which is Warzone.
Wow.
It tries to download it all, but if you don't download it all, what it does is it sequesters that part of your hard drive. Or that part of your memory.
So you can't use that memory anyways.
Exactly. You have to install the whole fucking thing. And because the game pulls so many elements from so many different files, it's all massively interconnected. Now I bought Battlefield 6 and installed it, and it was something like a 50 gig game. I think the game install was 20 gig. I had a couple of 6 gig updates, and I could say conservatively it doesn't go over that 50 gig mark, even with the updates that are coming. Now, whether you're big into shooters or not, Call of Duty is a fucking mess. If I buy Black Ops 6, I don't want access to Warzone. If I want Warzone, I'll get Warzone as a separate title.
That's like me with Resident Evil 3 Remake. If I want that game, I want that game. I don't want what was that? Resistance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wanted that, Capcom.
No, nobody cared. They wanted Resident Evil 3, and they didn't even get Resident Evil 3.
Nope.
It's just it's an absolute joke. I mean, you know, I could say, for example, The Last of Us Part 1. Now I have the remaster of The Last of Us Part 1. That's 87 gig for that game on console. Now I get it's a big game and they've rebuilt it from the ground up, but thankfully what they haven't done is created a hub around that game where you got the option and it borrows files from Last of Us Part 2. Because if they do that, I mean, that's what Call of Duty is now. And I remember the days back on the PlayStation when you were playing Call of Duty, you stuck your disc in, went online, and bang, you were playing the game.
Look, since you mentioned Last of Us, that reminds me of something I wanted to bring up to you.
Yeah, sure.
I thought about this. I heard somebody say something like this yesterday on a video. Think of like Last of Us 2 or any other game where it's like, in order to complete the game, you have to do some, horrible things.
Yes.
And then you have the devs of these games judging the players. Like they're making these games, essentially to judge the players, like saying, "Oh, look how horrible you're doing all these horrible things." And it's like, I don't think the player is at fault for that because they're just playing the game. What are they going to not finish the game that they paid for? I would blame the devs for that because they're the ones that actually put that in the game.
Narcissist pieces of shit, you mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
The Last of Us Part 2 really gets my back up, because I had someone who I work with just turn around to me and say, "Oh, you're a big Joel fanboy then if you don't like the second game." It's like, no, that's a different subject altogether. You want to kill Joel off, fine, I've got no issue with that. Do it in a respectful way, and it's going to be fine. What I have a problem with is the way that Neil Druckmann's made the game to manipulate you.
Yep.
They made the game to manipulate you. So you kill people. He's made those people have names, and you got their friends shouting out for them. He's killed Andy, or he's killed Warren. Oh my God, manipulating you that way. The noises that the game. The sound effects that come from those characters dying, by the way, when you cut the throats, is quite simply awful, especially through headphones. It's really nasty. And then you're made to kill the dogs, but the dogs are those people's pets,
Right.
And it's all about manipulation. And then they have a go at you for being a bad person for playing the game that they've made.
Yeah, it's like, what? So did you want me to not buy the game? Because I can do that.
Yeah, and it's my response will always be, "Hey, fuck you," because
and then they'll blame you for not buying the game.
Yes,
I say you, but I mean they'll blame the fans for not buying the game if they do that.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is why a lot of people just tore the disc up, sold the game onward. Yeah. Places, exchange shops wouldn't take. They were told they weren't allowed to take The Last of Us Part 2. Because for a certain amount of time, because people were just trading them in. Some streamers destroyed their disc, and it wasn't just about the Joel thing, and the fact that the game made you play as the person who killed Joel. It's not about that. It was about the manipulation. It was about the false advertising as well, because they advertised Joel as being in an awful lot of the game, and he wasn't, because he was dead. And then occasionally you go on a flashback. Now I've not got very far in the game. I promised Gunnar I would play it. I don't know why I promised that. And he'd probably, bless him, he's so nice he wouldn't hold me to it. But the whole point of The Last of Us Part 2, to me, is to make a gamer feel shit. I call it the misery simulator, because that's what it is. It's a misery simulator. And I'll play Sniper Elite version 5. Or V5 or whatever it's called. And I will quite happily snipe someone from 700 yards and watch as their brains disintegrate into a million pieces, because it's a computer game.
Exactly. It's fun. That's what I'm doing, the God of War games right now. And if you come across innocent people, you can take them out and get some green orbs to help refill your health for doing that. And it's fun. The game revels in it. And there are times you have to take out somebody who may not necessarily deserve it. Yeah. But the game does it in kind of a borderline cartoony way to where it's fun. It's not meant to be taken seriously.
Yeah,
because like we said earlier in the stream, games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And, again, going back to Call of Duty, I had that big thing in Modern Warfare 2, I believe it was 2, where I had to shoot up an airport. Now, that's pretty brutal, but they did give you the option. It wasn't a case of you must do this to advance the game. They did give you an option of not to participate, so you just walked around with them. But that's a pretty interesting thing to put into a game. Does it mean that people want to go and do that? No, that's the point of a game. Do I want to play Grand Theft Auto and go around, do I want to do that in real life? Start mowing people down with cars and sleeping with prostitutes and beating them over the head with a bat and taking their money? No, of course not. Nobody really wants to do that. Nobody who's stable anyway. They just want to play a game where they experience something better than the life that they have. Not that people's lives are crap, but it's a little bit of escapism and imagination. You put yourself into someone else's shoes. I want to be Leon S. Kennedy fighting in a zombie apocalypse. Of course I do, because it's fun, it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's quite horrific at times. I want to be going around the Spencer Mansion. I want to be like I said, sniping people from 700 yards and watching the bullet in bullet time flying through someone's skull. Of course I do, because it's fun.
Kratos giving a Minotaur a blade BJ.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, gaming is escapism. It's fun, like we've said. I don't want to feel miserable when I'm playing the game.
No. And if a game's going to do something like, say, like with The Last of Us 2, if you want to condemn players, give them the choice. Like, give them the choice to say, well, I'm not taking out that dog. I'm going to find another way to do it. Like, give the player the choice.
I'm going to sneak past all these bad guys. I'm not going to kill them. But it's interesting in a lot of the cutscenes, and that's where the real violence takes place, where you don't have a choice. And they're saying, people say to me, oh, Joel wasn't a very nice person. It's like, yes, I know. I know he's not a nice person. That's what makes him such a compelling character, because he's done, he has gone through an immense trauma. He's lost his daughter. No, spoiler alert for those who haven't played The Last of Us, but what you're playing at. Very beginning of the game, very opening scene, he loses his daughter. And then it's 20 years later where he's had to survive day in, day out through a zombie apocalypse. You can't put that kind of morality on that character. You can't put standard morality onto a character that's having to survive a zombie apocalypse or a fungal apocalypse.
Not just zombies, but also terrible people. Because there are a lot of people at least as bad as him, if not way worse.
Yeah,
that probably put him in situations where he has to be a bad person.
Well, you got the cannibals. You've got the you've got the the Fireflies are bad enough in that game. There are worse people out there, but you're not gonna make me sit in judgment over a character and the choices that he makes, and then in the second game recontextualize those decisions and those choices that he made and turn him into a bad guy. It's just not going to happen, because he, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily love the character of Joel. I don't necessarily love the character of Ellie, but the dynamic between the two is incredible. It's a fantastic story, and it's been completely destroyed by the second game. And isn't it funny and isn't it curious how the second season of The Last of Us, Neil Druckmann fucks off at the end of it and says, yeah, by the way, I won't be back for season 3. Because he's completely screwed up the second game. And I don't care how many people suck him off and tell him how fucking good he is. Neil Druckmann's a complete and utter wanker. He's a completely talentless wanker.
Well, where are they going to go with the TV show if they've already done the second game?
From what I've heard and from what I've seen so far, it looks like it's going to be about Abby. Now, they've destroyed Ellie's character. I'm not a big fan of Bella Ramsey anyway. I'm not the sort of person...
She's going to be a dad.
She's going to be a dad, yeah. Now, I'm not the sort of person like a lot of YouTubers that will point out her physical appearance and say... No. I would just say she is not suited for that role, either as an actress or the way she physically looks. She's nothing like Ellie. She's made Ellie insufferable, and so have the writers. Made Ellie into a complete and utter... I can't say that word. I'm not going to say that word, but a complete and utter useless. See you next Tuesday.
There you go.
A piece of crap that TV character is. The first season was brilliant. The second season was shit. And the third season's going to be about a character that we fucking hate anyway. Who, honestly, all those people who go, I think Abby's a fantastic character. It's like, why? She went after Joel. Yeah, and she hunted down the man who killed her father. Completely, of course, the game completely ignores the nuance of why Joel fucking killed her father, because he was about to cut into an innocent 14-year-old girl, kill her for the possibility of getting a cure for this fungal outbreak. And he was about to commit murder himself, and Joel killed him to save a human girl.
And let's not forget that he also saved Abby's life just before she did the deed anyways.
Yeah, and the people want to side with fucking Abby. Fuck off. She's completely irredeemable as a character, and you're not going to
Yep.
make me hate Joel because he made a decision that any fucking father would.
Yep.
If someone wanted to cut into my my daughter's brain and which would kill her to save the rest of humanity, guess what, world? You're fucked, because that's my little girl, and you better stay the fuck away from her.
I wonder how many people that take Abby's side have kids.
That would be an interesting question, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be a really interesting poll to get the answer to that. Because I wouldn't want to make any snap judgments, but I can imagine a lot of them don't have kids.
Yeah, like I don't have kids. I don't want kids, but I do know how I would be if I did have a kid. And yeah, I completely understand like what you're saying, with your experience as a father, where if you're in that situation, yeah, you're going with the welfare of your kid because that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like that's what I
100%.
would do if I had one.
100%. And yeah, you want to condemn Joel for making that decision? Fuck off, pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And then you want to make a second game. And I made this point in one of the very first YouTube videos I did. I made this point about Neil Druckmann, and he's saying that he didn't care about his dev team. He didn't care about the company. He didn't care about Naughty Dog, and he didn't care about Sony. He didn't care about any of that. He only cared about telling his story, because if he had not done what he had done, The Last of Us 2 would have been the game of the fucking decade, if not the fucking century. It would have truly swept all the awards, not these fucking 10 out of 10 that everybody fucking gave it, bought and paid for reviews. It would have absolutely swept through the gaming world as one of the best games ever made, had he not done what he'd done. And it would have been.
I might have gotten in.
Sorry.
I might have gotten into the series then.
Yes. And instead he decided to make this second game, which divided the shit out of the fan base. People just gave up with The Last of Us. It's become one of the most unpopular series, and he's become one of the most unpopular fucking game directors. And he's pinning all his hopes on this new fucking Galactica thing that he's doing for Naughty Dog. It's like, are you fucking stupid? You pissed off, and you robbed yourself of half of the money that you fucking made, that you could have made.
Yep.
Because you wanted to put your fucking message out there.
I want to point out too that I didn't particularly care for Uncharted 4 either, and I know he had his claws in that game.
Yeah, well, he kicked Amy Hennig out, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah.
And she, she's got her name on the 3 games, the fantastic trilogy of games for Uncharted from Naughty Dog. And of course, Druckmann gets his hand on 4, and suddenly Nathan Drake's getting beaten up by a woman half his fucking size. Yeah. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But, go back to your friend Anita Sarkeesian, you wanker.
But he's pro-woman, even though he kicked a woman out of there. That's a very talented writer.
Yeah, fantastic, that is, isn't it? It's funny. We've been talking about recently going so much of something, you come back round and you become that thing. Yep. I'm so feminist. I'm against women who were working for me with actual talent that created a trilogy, and I'm going to take over that trilogy and make a 4th game that completely destroys everything.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Uncharted 4 could have been so much worse. It was a good game in the sense of gameplay and everything like that.
It wasn't the worst thing in the world, no.
Well, it wasn't.
I don't think it's... Yeah, it's not an awful game. I didn't care for it, but I can agree it wasn't awful.
Yeah. Yeah, Watch Nerd says, of course, Joel wasn't nice. You couldn't be nice and survive in the Last of Us universe. Hell no! It's survival of the fittest. It's dog eat dog world. It's basic survival. You ain't gonna survive if you're some timid, shy. Oh, I don't want to hit a woman, or I don't want to hit a. I don't think I'll do any of this illegal stuff because it's not. It goes against the way that I fifis. No.
Yeah, you'll end up on the business end of something really bad happening to you.
Of course you will. You'll either be someone's freaking slave or worker. Or you'll end up, fungus chow. Yeah.
Yep.
And, some of us don't have that in us to survive. So the character of Joel does. And that's why we play him. That's why we play as the character. Because he's a strong character. Because he makes these decisions, these tough decisions. Otherwise, it wouldn't be believable. And I'm sorry, but no one on this freaking God's green earth is going to convince me that Abby was built like that in the middle of a fucking apocalypse. 20 years of human starvation, and Abby looks like that. Fuck off.
I'm
She's been hammering the protein shakes.
I'm sensing a clipped Danger Man rant from this stream.
It might very well be a Last of Us video, a message to all you Last of Us 2 fans. Because I'm playing the game at the minute, and I couldn't give two shits about the story. The gameplay is superb. I'm not going to lie. The gameplay is fantastic. The people, the AI is brilliant. The weapons are fantastic. The way you use them is brilliant. The graphics, it looks like a beautiful game. And this is why I say Druckmann didn't give a shit about the dead people working under him, because they were working crunch time all the fucking way through. And I can't blame the guy, the individual, the guy or girl, the individual who leaked that game. I cannot blame them for a cold minute for leaking that game and ruining his fucking big moment. Because, to be fair, I can't blame him for doing it, but I really wish in some ways they hadn't, because then his downfall would have been more public than it was. And he was going after YouTubers. He was going after YouTubers and threatening to take their fucking livelihood away, because they were reviewing the leaks. They were talking about the leaks. It's like, are you fucking retarded or something? What the fucking hell's wrong with you? You don't go after people who, your game's leaked. That's your problem. You through inaction or action, you allowed those leaks to be released.
They're news stories.
They're news stories, and they're fair game. It's fair use, fair coverage. And you go after YouTubers to try and shut them up, even though you spent a lot, you spent months marketing the game. That it's another Joe and an Ellie experience. Instead, you pull the rug out from under these people. You fuck them off. You treat them with such disrespect. And as far as I'm concerned, Neil Druckmann can fucking do one now. I'm done with him. I'm done with Naughty Dog as well.
Yeah.
Because they've ruined two perfectly decent franchises.
Yep. I won't buy another Uncharted game. I mean, that being said, if they did a remaster of the trilogy for PC, I would pick that up. But
the Nathan Drake collection.
Yeah, but I mean, give PS3 emulation a few more years. That'll be running fine. And I bought those games, so it's okay for me to emulate them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, the Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection on PS4 is really good.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. In fact, I think they did it for PS5 as well. The 3 games are beautiful games.
And I would like to play them updated, because I played them on original PS3, and
Oh, I did. Yeah.
I mean, they're good, but I can tell there were some definite improvements in that Nathan Drake collection.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot
even I remember a few bits. Sorry, I didn't make it. No,
that's okay.
There are a couple bits where it's like you had to shoot something, I remember, or you had to jump to something, and I would be playing it and I'd be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. So I'd look at a video and somebody's doing it on the Nathan Drake collection. And this was probably about 9 years ago when I was playing these games. And I'm like, wow, okay. So in this remaster, they actually made that a lot more visible to see. Okay. Or that infamous part in Uncharted 1, which apparently they made easier in the Nathan Drake collection, where you're on a jet ski, I think it was, and you're going upstream. And you're trying to control the jet ski plus control. Is her name Chloe, the blonde?
Chloe,
girl?
yeah. Oh no, that's
Chloe was.
Chloe was Chloe was black haired. Yeah, the other one was called. It was Elena. Elena. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember her name for anything because I was talking Uncharted with somebody yesterday too. But yeah, you're controlling her, trying to fire your gun to blow up these barrels or deal with enemies that are coming at you too.
That was a shit. That was a shit to do. Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently they made it easier on the remaster. I haven't played it on there, but it's like if I re-experience those games, yes, I would like to play them on the remaster, but it seems like one of those things I would love to see on PC. And I will admit, as long as it's functional on PC, yes, I would actually pick that up. But otherwise, yeah, I agree. I don't want anything to do with Naughty Dog.
No, and it's a shame because they had the perfect formula.
Plus, give us Golden Abyss. Why not?
Yes. Yeah, why not? Chuck that out there as well. Take out the Vita controls and give us that.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. But they won't do that. But I mean, like I said, I think Neil Druckmann should have been fired easily for The Last of Us Part
If
2.
if I was in management and I saw that, I probably would. I'd be like, you know what? Like, this is going to do irreparable damage to our brand. No, we need money makers, especially now when game development costs so much. You need money makers, and to allow somebody to destroy a brand like that.
Well, you could say, well, okay, well, it was just the game. The TV show did well. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It lost half its audience within like the first 2 episodes. So after because the second season follows the second game pretty much beat for beat.
Yeah.
So by the second episode,
I feel like you and Xell might have talked about this, but I'd be curious to see the reactions of people who didn't know what was coming.
Oh God, yeah, because it was the same reactions as the people that played the game. They didn't know what was coming. I mean, there were so many people hoping that those leaks were false.
Yep.
And I'm like, and then it turns out the leaks weren't false. I was like,
yep,
you're kidding me, ain't you?
Yeah, I believed them at the time. I heard about all that. I remember all that news going on about it, and I thought, oh well, this is not good for Last of Us fans.
No.
I like that kind of like I do when I hear negative stuff about like modern Star Wars, because I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I after seeing several franchises I love run through the muck, I certainly feel for those people and what they've had to deal with over the past decade too. So
yeah,
I think none of our franchises are really sitting pretty these days.
No, I think it's a lack of talent.
I think it's a combination of lack of talent, probably too much demands from like the executives, and also developer or writer arrogance. I think it's like a combination of those things.
Yeah, and I would say there's a degree of activism in there as well.
Yeah,
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in I genuinely, and this might not make me very popular, I genuinely don't care about diversity. Because if you have to go on and on about diversity, then you're doing it to score points.
I've said this on your stream before, but the TV show Eureka from like 20 years ago did it, and they only addressed race once because they had to, because they did like a time travel thing.
Yes.
So they had to address it, and they did it as quickly as they could to just say, oh, this isn't a problem here because of this, and then moved on.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yep.
Oh, the media touted the first black Starfleet captain. We didn't care. He's an awesome captain. Yeah. Didn't care about the color of his skin. And Star Trek didn't really mention that. The DS9 didn't really mention that until Far Beyond the Stars. Yeah. And then after that, it became a little bit, about race. It's like, but
I didn't love that.
We didn't care what the color of someone's skin was. We didn't care. I don't care. This is why I say I don't care about diversity. I don't care about forced diversity.
Yeah. Well, they did things in more subtle ways in early seasons. Season 3 premiere. Him and Jake are in their quarters, and he's pulling out like some artwork, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is famous African artwork." I'm like, "That's fine. Like that's showing his character. He cares about his roots. Like that was a nice little way. Yeah, like that's a nice little way of doing it, and then you move on."
But they didn't feel the need to put a bunch of exposition on top of it to say, and this actual piece was lost in a raid by colonials, and it didn't feel the need to do that, and again,
like Far Beyond the Stars, and this might make me unpopular because I don't care for that episode at all, but they had the nerve to revisit that whole thing in a key plot important episode in season 7, where all of a sudden we see Benny Russell in that asylum.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if they just left it as this one episode, okay, fine. Like I could deal with that. It's like, okay, that's something important that happened to Cisco, but cool, whatever, But then they brought it back up, and I'm just like, oh, why?
With the false vision. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like forced diversity. Like to meet quotas. And that's what I think a lot of the entertainment industry is doing. It's doing it for the sake of doing it. You're not hiring talent, you're hiring skin color. Yep. And you're hiring gender, and you're hiring orientation.
And it's like, fine, hire talented people in these groups. If you're gonna do it, like hire
Yeah.
people with talent.
Yeah, not just because they've got they tick a certain checkbox, and that's been the argument for
Yeah.
the last 10 years. Is if you tick a certain checkbox, you've got the job. It's like, well, you're not qualified for the job. Oh, we've got to bring some Star Trek writers in. Okay, well, none of the Star Trek writers are going to come work for us. So what we'll do, we're not going to do that anyway. We'll go as diverse as possible, and we'll bring in chick flick writers. And I say chick flick. Apparently, I've learned not too long ago you can't really say chick flick anymore.
Oh God.
It's like no. I will say chick flick because that's what I know it as.
Well, I mean, well, let's say they couldn't get Star Trek writers.
Yeah.
Find people like the Star Trek Continues guys, and maybe they're not experienced to write a TV show. Fine.
Yeah.
But they can tell you what should be in a Star Trek.
They can advise you.
Show.
Yeah.
And you can bring them on as part of the writing team, at where you can also have experienced TV show runners and everything. So you can kind of help ground their ideas too, and say, okay, well, in a TV show, this is the process we have to go through. And then they can come back and say, all right, well, this is what needs to be in Star Trek because this is what Star Trek fans are going to want. Like, it can be at least a little bit of a give and take. And of course, that goes back to what you said earlier, which is consult the fans, find out what the fans want.
Yeah.
Like, because they'll make this whole thing about, oh, we want to bring in a new audience. It's like, I was 9 when I got into Star Trek, original Star Trek, even.
Yeah.
Through my dad, and we were able to watch that together. And I know you've said plenty of times on your streams, you can't sit down with New Trek and watch that with your kids.
No, of course you can't. It's too violent. It's too confusing. They won't understand what's going on. Like I say, the only decent redeeming thing about New Trek is the fact that really there's a lot of money put into the shots, and they look absolutely stunning. Some of these shots. Yeah. They look fantastic. It's too bad the ships look ugly as fuck. The design, the general design and layout of the ships is unattractive and bland and not unique in any way, shape, or form. It's all generic, polished floors, reflective surfaces, J.J. Abrams level lens flares, completely characterless, and there's nothing that makes it unique. And Xell made this point in 10 Forward, where he says, the Defiant bridge, for example, was defined. It was built as a small warship, and it was designed. The bridge was designed with that in mind. People put thought and effort into what they were designing for these TV shows, and it's incredible. I think it
needed flamethrowers. it needed flamethrowers on the bridge.
Well,
because when they get boarded by the Jem'Hadar, then flamethrower. See?
Yeah, absolutely. Or Flotter, T-Water the Third. I think it's just with regards to the New Trek design of the sets and the flamethrowers and all of that. I get why they do it. And I always understood why plasma conduits running behind consoles was always a bad idea. But they always seem to design consoles to explode, as no doubt Games Librarian will put some time in the chat. The explosive concrete in the back of the consoles going everywhere. Yep. I've got no issue with that. No issue with debris. No issue with bulkheads falling apart. But why would you have vents and a working area on a starship that is supposedly as pretty as the Enterprise, apparently? Why would you have flamethrowers right next to people's heads? It makes no sense. There's no logic behind the designs. And, you can go through consoles with rocks. Thank you, Sci-Fi Shipwise. That's what Librarian would say. Consoles with rocks. I've got the fight files not 2-3 feet away from me, and they comprehensively explain every single facet of the Star Trek universe, right down to ships design, weapons design, technological specifications, what, the how, what, where, when, and why of Star Trek. That's what they are. They're basically the Encyclopedia Star Trek, 19 binders worth of information. Which is always a pleasure to get out and read because it just looks beautiful.
I bet.
You've got that world building, and with New Trek you don't. They don't think about the way the sets look. They just go, "Oh, that's the bridge." Yeah, and then you go down a corridor and you fall over because someone's polished the fucking floor. I mean, there's
And I
nothing
don't
wrong with having carpet on a starship.
well, and I don't understand who they're appealing to, because if they're trying to appeal to a younger audience, but the younger audience that you want to bring in can't watch these episodes with their parents because it's made for somebody older than them.
Yeah, you can't watch it
So what
because
are
there's
they
a
doing?
severed infant head. It's like, I'm
Yep.
sorry, who are you
Or
trying to
Klingon chest
appeal to?
skulls.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly. And I just think, well, okay, I started with the original series when I was 5. I was watching the original series when I was 5. That's why I don't remember an awful lot of it, because it was a long time ago, and I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm just starting to revisit it now and then. And then I went to the Next Generation. I enjoyed that. Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and then Enterprise. Enterprise was probably when I was, hitting 20 years old. On or around. Hello, Gooner70. Welcome to the stream. It's always good to have Gooner in the house.
Hey, Gooner, you missed Danger Man's Last of Us rant.
You really did. Yeah, you have to go back and listen to that. I might make it a video just for you, Gooner. Don't get me wrong. I am playing The Last of Us 2, Gooner, as I've shown you I am. But I have questions. But yeah, there's no way I would sit my kids in front of anything new Trek, including Picard season 3, because I think I watched the first episode with my lad of Picard season 3 last week, and he goes again. He just says it doesn't really feel like Star Trek, does it? And I says no, it doesn't. It feels. Don't get me wrong. I think yeah, fine, fair enough. Make it modern, but the Orville did perfectly fine with making modern Star Trek.
I still don't understand. Yeah, and I still don't understand how in a 20-year-old comm badge, Picard is receiving a transmission, maybe 30-year by that time. I don't know what time season 3 takes place. I'm like, those are short-range transmitters. Why is this comm badge receiving a transmission? Like, never made sense to me. Like, nobody thought
he
that
says
through?
in the episode, doesn't he? He goes, "No, why would a 20-year-old comm badge be receiving a signal from across the galaxy?" It's like, why would it? It's a little tiny comm badge that works on a ship-to-ship basis.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it ties in anywhere you go, but for the love of, in terms of a Starfleet ship, but you still have to be within range.
Yeah, I'd say you probably have to be on or orbiting a planet.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, if you're not in that general vicinity.
I think they covered it in Voyager, didn't they, with resolutions when the Voyager's just going out of range of the comm badge.
Oh, yeah, they did.
36 hours away at the warp 5 or whatever it was, which is fine. I'm all right for a bit of distance, not a problem. But come on, yeah. Like, it's like, his comm badge, which is not locked away in storage. It's not in his Picard Day Remembrance Museum from the first season. It's not. It's not in there. It happens to be right next to him. In the same room, going off. And I'm thinking because nostalgia.
Because Starfleet, because Starfleet's going to let technology that could still be used, like, just go like that. Now, granted, it was with Picard or Robo Picard at this point, but whatever. But still, like, I don't think they're going to just let civilians, which he, I mean, I guess he was an admiral technically, but like, they're not just going to allow that just to sit at somebody's home.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's been deactivated.
Well, I have a work phone. It doesn't mean I get to keep it afterwards.
Exactly.
I have to hand it back. It's still technology that belongs to the company I work for.
Exactly.
So yeah. I don't know, mate. I don't know. It strikes me as odd. And why would it be specific to the Next Generation comm badge? Why wouldn't it be, I don't know, the latest one he had, the last one he had?
Right.
Yeah, new Academy Captain. Welcome to Starfleet. That's it. Shipyards, very good. Yeah, utterly ridiculous. Good. It's good to hear Reaver on your stream, DM. It'd be good to hear Gooner on a future stream, Gooner, if you're interested. I plan to do a few more conversations with subscribers. I haven't done one of these in 2 years, so yeah, I thought, why not bring it back? I couldn't do 10 Forward on Friday because we were out seeing a live comedian, and now that was Dara O'Brien, by the way. an Irish comedian, very very funny.
Nice.
So yeah, couldn't do 10 forward, so I thought, I'll do conversations with subscribers. Laugh out loud. Oh come on, excellent. You should, mate. I will get another stream arranged. It's a really nice touch. Bless. Yeah, I know.
A good concept you came up with too.
In terms
just bringing different
ones
of us on.
Yeah. Well, you guys make the channel. I wouldn't have a channel. Well, I would have a channel, but I wouldn't have a very popular channel if it weren't for people like you. People who've been subscribers for years. Oh yes, your date, and I hope the missus understands. Yeah, she does. Yeah, you guys have made my channel possible in this sense. I've got just over 2,100 subscribers now, which is fucking phenomenal. I really, even for me to have that, it's very, very humbling, very awesome.
And I think all 21,000 need to go over and subscribe to your gaming and repairs channel.
Well, to be fair, yeah, the gaming channel definitely. The repair channel, I'm not really going to do anything else with it.
Okay.
The issue with that channel, just to divert for a quick second, the issue with that channel is I can't invest the time to do anything repair wise and make a video about it just to get, I don't know, 100 views in 6 months. It's just not a good investment of my time, because although I fix stuff, I'm much more focused on the actual fixing stuff than making a video. So there's absolutely no point in continuing. I love the repair community. They were very helpful when I was doing YouTube, but the channel is slowly dying, and it's just not happening for me anymore with it. I much prefer to do the reviews, speak to you guys, focus on the gaming and reviews channel. I think they're really good.
Yeah.
Guna70, you're all such amazing people, and I'm not just saying that. It's such a great community with, great channel with an outstanding community. Yeah, there's such a great community here on this channel from Watch Nerd as well. Yeah, it is. I love my community. It's like I built a family, and it's really nice to have you all in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord. I don't know why you're not in the Discord, but you're more than welcome to join it, and you're all more than welcome to come on and do this, provided I know who you are and that you're not looking to strip off naked or anything like that on the stream and get me shut down. That is a stipulation. That's in the small print.
Oh, of course, you got to have that in the small print.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, you want that in the big print.
Yeah,
big
print.
Make sure that's clear.
And depending, if Sydney Sweeney came on, then that'll be a completely different policy. But
okay, well, you add that. You add that to the fine print.
Yeah.
Except Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, do it in the butcher's voice. Except Sydney Sweeney.
There you go.
Yeah. We were in danger, weren't we, of broaching on Picard season 3?
We were, yeah.
we already did, to be fair. I've been wanting to get on the stream for ages. Sci-fi shipyards, mate. You just let me know. I've got a shockingly appalling memory, by the way. So you really need to keep nudging me and send me private messages and stuff like that, because otherwise I will forget. I've got the memory of a goldfish, and there's a lot of people to keep track of on here. So make sure you're not lost and forgotten.
What you could do is just figure out a time when you want to do one of these again, and then figure out, okay, who have I not had on that wants to be on, that's available for that date and time.
Yeah.
And then just set yourself like a calendar reminder, and they do the same thing for them, and then there you go.
Yeah, you're lucky I didn't go cross-eyed while you were explaining all that. No, I mean, it's something I can certainly look at it, at doing it. It's just, it'd be nice on a regular, make this a regular thing as well.
It's okay. Just hire the games librarian as your secretary. He'll do it for you.
How do you figure, librarian? You up for being secretary? I don't have an employment contract for you, but hey ho. Yeah, I'll hit you up for the next one. I'm on shift work next week, but it's good for me. I'm not exactly sure when I'll be streaming. I'm hoping to make it a regular thing, but I've already got my regular show, and I'm away from the wife way too much these days. So I will. It won't probably be every week, but it will be every chance that I get. I will do one of these streams because they're good fun. I enjoy them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoy them. But yeah, but you have Xell on. No, I mean, well, yeah, maybe. It's tough. It's mainly a chance for everyone else to have a go, in terms of I've got Xell and Watch Nerd for 10 Forward, which, by the way, you're all welcome to join on 10 Forward. We are not restricted to 3 people on 10 Forward. You're more than welcome to join if you want to talk about the subject matter of the week.
Yeah, I have occasionally. I wish I had been there when I heard you guys talking Buffy and Angel, because I'm actually rewatching those shows. And I was like, oh man, like I can't remember why, but I was like, I'd actually really like to join in on that, but I can't remember why if I was doing something later. But I was like, oh man, I want to be part of that one.
Buffy and Angel, I really enjoyed that conversation because it was something that was very dear to me.
A good one.
When I was when I was growing up. I say growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. When was Buffy originally released? Mid 90s,
96 or 7.
96 or 7,
96 or 7, give or take.
So I was just hitting my teenage years, which helped. And I really,
yeah.
I really liked the show. Became a big fan of it, and Angel to a degree. I actually kind of liked season 5 because I thought it was just an all-in, let's throw everything together and just have a fucking laugh for our last season. But no, I really enjoyed the 7 seasons of Buffy. Not probably the first 5 more than the last 2.
For me, it was the first 3. I felt like, because I'm in, and I always remember this, like season 4 for me is kind of rough. I don't know why. Like, there are good episodes in there for sure. I'm trying to think of what all I've seen. I've seen the one where Spike shows up to try to get that ring that they end up bringing to Angel.
Yeah.
And that's a nice little crossover there.
Yeah.
So that one was good fun. But now they've introduced Anya again, and I enjoy her. She's wonderful character. But it's just like the whole look, I'm in college now thing. I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like they kind of did the same thing for high school, but it felt natural when she was in high school. For the college thing, it feels forced.
See,
I don't know why.
Even back then, with the first episode of season 4, we were all saying, "Oh, for God's sake, Pedro Pascal's in everything."
Which one was he in that one? I'm gonna have to go back.
He was Dead Eddie. He was the guy who directed Buffy on the college campus when she started college. He was walking with her. He's practically unrecognizable as Pedro Pascal, but he is definitely in it.
I know who you're talking about too. I had no idea that was him.
Yeah. He's minus the mustache, you see, and he looks a lot younger. And he's not trying to hold Buffy's hand throughout the entire experience. So, should I watch Buffy and Angel, or am I too old for it? No, watch Buffy and Angel, mate. Me and the missus are going to go do round 3, I think, for Buffy and Angel. We're going to get the lad into it as well. Buffy and Angel I think, is timeless. The first season of Buffy is a bit rough because it's a pilot season. It was an entire season of television that was commissioned. So season 1 is all very much. It's not really. There's not really a lot of vampires in it, if I recall. It's Monster of the Week. I think it was a proofing season. The
Master was still an interesting villain. I still liked him.
Yeah.
So what you got to know is, going into those shows, keep in mind when they came out, keep in mind it was at least kind of low budget for that time on TV. So the effects are not going to hold up now.
No.
But as long as you can accept that going in, like, you can have fun with it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're great shows. They're great shows.
Like I have a friend who I think several years ago was watching the X-Files with his daughter, and she was laughing at some of the effects and everything, but apparently he said she was like really getting into it though, like even with how cheesy some of the effects were. And it's like, yeah, as long as you know what you're getting into and you can have fun with it. Oh, I can tell what they're doing here, cool. Like,
well, that's the same applies for Star Trek.
Yep.
My lad will sit and watch Star Trek, and he'll laugh when something low budget happens, or
Yeah.
something like that, or certainly when Garak and Worf are fighting on the Defiant when he's trying to destroy the Founders, and they're having a fight in the Jeffries tube, and I believe it is Worf knocks part of the stage out, and it
Well,
stays. It's in the episode.
and isn't it one of the Star Treks where it's like there's like a styrofoam rock in
Yeah,
an episode where you can see it kind of scrunch a little bit?
yeah.
I find that stuff charming though.
Yes.
Like I've got a friend at work who's not much younger than we are, and like he will not do anything with older effects or quote unquote bad effects. And I'm like, I mean, if you can't have fun with it, then don't watch it. But it's just like I don't understand that, because to me it's charming. It's like that's the time that it came out in. It was low budget for its time, especially if you get into original Star Trek.
But it was effort.
My dad comes from those days, and he'll say, yeah, that was low budget even back then. And it's just like, but it's charming. Like you can tell they were trying at least.
Yeah, but it's effort, isn't it? They put in effort, and you understood it. You understood that. I mean, to be fair, it was probably quite high budget, really, considering. But when it was made, they did everything on a budget. I was watching.
Yeah, I would say season 1 of Buffy probably not high budget, but
no. But you commissioned an entire season of 12, I believe, 12 episodes, so half a season. Essentially, which is a pilot season. You've been given a budget of so many dollars, and it's.
And there were good stories in that first season too.
There were just Monster of the Week, which I think Buffy was quite well known for Monster of the Week, but it did retain the vampire thing, and I think when Spike came into it, that was quite funny.
Well, they got better at balancing something that New Trek doesn't do. Telling Monster of the Week stories, but still giving you little plot threads to kind of keep it going. So you're not, what's the word I'm looking for here? You're not drudging through the main story if it's not something you care about.
Yeah.
But if you do like the main story, you're still getting a little something, even though you're getting something a little different every week.
Well, I think that's with Star Trek. The main story is it takes the back seat. The main arc of the season takes a back seat. You'll occasionally have a highlight episode, wouldn't you, to remind you what's going on, and then it will go back to serialized.
Well, think about one of Odo's big storylines was he loved Kira.
Yes.
That all came, and I want to say I read somewhere or heard somewhere that this was Renee's own acting, like just improv. I forget what it was the season 2 episode with Brial, and he's running for Kai.
Yes.
And the two of them are in Odo's office. And she mentioned something about loving him. And Odo just kind of takes that, do you now? Like you could tell like there's like hurt in his voice there.
Yeah.
The way he says it. And from what I heard, that was like Renee's acting that did that. I don't think that was originally intended. And then he kind of plays it off real quick.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I was just wondering when you'd figure that out, like kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And it all, that whole storyline came from that one little scene in an episode that had nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I love it when they can do stuff like that.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. There's not enough, to be fair, there's not enough focus out in the world.
Yeah. And the Buffy and Angel shows will do that too sometimes, where they'll do a standalone, but you'll get like a little something just to carry the storyline forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's surprise, very well acted. It's very 90s school drama kind of stuff, but it's got the comedy, it's got the heart. It's a very Joss Whedon show. Now, Joss Whedon isn't so popular nowadays for various reasons, but I would actually say that the early Joss Whedon stuff's very good, and there's no reason to avoid it. It's a great show with great characters, great acting. Very early on, poor special effects, but what do you expect from the 90s and low budget? It's charming. It's a charming show, and it remains charming to this day, and remains very rewatchable. And the physical editions of Buffy the Vampire Slayer are fucking amazing. They are beautiful.
I would say to the person in the chat, give it at least through season 2 if you're going to do it. If you don't like it by the end of season 2, it's probably not going to be your thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Season 2 was good.
Modern Star Trek. What Buffy episode should we rip off today? Yeah, yeah. The Strange New Worlds did that. They had the musical episode, and yeah, they've ripped a fair amount off of Buffy and everything. And it's just lack of vision, lack of understanding, and just as that admiral says, sheer fucking hubris.
Yep, pretty much. That's why I focus on things I like these days. I don't like, because I used to be right there. I discovered God, I can't even say his original name anymore. The guy in the mask, I'll just say, how about that? I remember finding his channel back in the day and him ranting about discovery,
Doomcock,
but
yeah,
I wasn't gonna say it because I wasn't sure if that affect your algorithm.
No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. Doomcock. Oh, hello, people. Hello, Harvey. You know that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So like his early discovery reviews, which I think he took down at some point, like those were hilarious. But he took a rant and he mixed in comedy and he made them into something that was just enjoyable to listen to. So I was actually recommending his channel to friends, before he, kind of changed and did, I mean, obviously what he's doing works for him now and good for him, but just. Yeah, I don't like his stuff anymore, so I don't go.
Well, I think he's driven his core away.
Okay.
I think that's generally what tends to happen, because you on YouTube you start with a particular niche, and as you move out of that niche, people tend to go. Some people stay along for the ride, and you continuously churning through, getting different kind of subscribers. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, I don't really see much of Doomcock. He's not releasing regular videos as much anymore. Okay. And he's primarily focused on what algorithm chasing, from what I can see with his content.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with chasing the algorithm. My channel's never going to grow if I don't chase the algorithm, but that doesn't mean I want it to grow, so I'm going to chase the algorithm.
You don't want to do something that's dishonest. I feel like I can. Yeah. Feel like that's safe to say.
And I don't want to do something that's dishonest, but I also don't want to cover stuff that I don't really know.
Exactly.
Well. Like, why would I?
Or something you typically don't like. I mean, you're covering the modern, Trek stuff, but that's your whole channel base. But like there's all kinds of stuff you could cover if you wanted to chase the algorithm, but you're not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you could call Drinker a very flexible YouTuber, because what he does is he will review the new stuff that comes out, but that's the nature of movie reviews, and he's a movie critic. He's got his particular interest, and he's made it work. Yeah. And more power to him. I actually love the Drinker's channel. However, it is becoming very much the same thing over and over again.
That's why I stopped watching him.
I prefer I like it when he's positive about something, when he really likes something. Yeah. But that's few and far between, and that's a symptom of the time that we live in. When you look at
true that.
The Drinker's also an author, and he's got other works that he does.
Yeah.
And that's all very well, but I think for you've got the likes of Dave Cullen as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dave Cullen, I don't tend to watch him too much anymore. Well, I did take.
I don't either.
I did take a few things personally, but I don't tend to watch his Star Trek stuff anymore. But it was interesting because I was watching his Academy video, and he was making almost the same points that I was, which is fine because they're blatantly obvious, but almost in the order in which we did it as well. I find that Dave Cullen's okay. He's all right. He's just a bit.
Yeah.
He's trying different things, and he's got to find what works for him, and that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I brought up Doomcock to kind of say, like, I went through I'm mad at what they've done to Star Trek phase. Like we've all have. I think a lot of us are still in that phase, but like I got over it a while back. Like I don't. The only thing I'm still a little triggered by is modern Silent Hill content. That still triggers me a little bit. But I'm working on that. But like like I've become so apathetic to everything like new Trek at this point. Kind of, everybody was promising season 3 Picard was going to be this great thing, and for those who like it, more power to you. That's cool, but when I took a step back, I didn't like it,
Well,
and
it was this very different thing, and I take my
true.
hat off to them. They certainly did correct the ship. They course corrected the ship. The
Well, they started by
problem is,
setting it on a ship,
yeah,
which helps.
yeah, that really does help. But they course corrected the entire series, and it was absolutely brilliant in comparison to what came before.
True,
But
true, but it's just
the ship that they corrected was not Star Trek. It was still not
no,
Star
no, it
Trek.
was
It's like, oh, we've managed to save the USS Benterprise, which is
right.
the knockoff version of the Enterprise. We've managed to save it from going into the water. Okay, we've steered the ship. Well done, everybody. And look, even some of
Yeah,
the Enterprise fans are saying, "Yay, well done! Yeah, excellent job." But it's still not the Enterprise. It's still not Star Trek. It's
no,
still not what we know. And the
and
story was really weak. Now, again, we've had this conversation before. I've had this conversation before with Xell. They did the best that they could, and I'm not
yeah,
not critical of that, but it still wasn't good.
right. And my thing is though, like kind of once that hit, and I kind of realized, okay, so we lost out on the chance to have a good TNG reunion.
Mm,
And kind of at that point, I just was done. I was, you know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
That's cool. I think Strange New World season 2 came out around that time, or maybe a little after. I can't remember now,
Hmm.
or maybe it was a year later. I can't remember. And I just kind of gave that a couple episodes out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah,
And of course, you covered it. You saw the whole thing, and it's just like
yeah,
I was out. I was like, you know what, this production team, they have nothing positive to offer, so I'm just
mm,
done. Like I don't see any need to stay angry at, just to quote him. I think that's such a terrible message to send out. And I always took it as a comedy thing when he
yeah.
originally started saying "stay angry." It sounded like a comedy thing to me now. Kind of the way I've kind of changed in the last few months. Like I don't. To me, that's just such a bad place to be. And I can say this as somebody who's disabled. And sorry, I don't want to go on a whole
No, no,
tangent
of
with
course
this,
you go ahead.
but like I will admit I've got plenty of anger in my life because of just how I was born and everything.
Mm,
Staying angry is not good. Like
no,
it's not good for you. There's nothing positive that can come from that, and
no.
that's kind of something I'm learning now too. And so, like, I guess you could say when it comes to new Trek, I became apathetic because I'm just like, I realized, you know what? I got TOS, I got TNG, I got DS9, Voyager, Enterprise. Yes, would I like more to add to that? Sure,
Yeah,
but it's not what happened. So, okay. Like, I'm good.
yeah,
Like, none of this new stuff. They can try to retcon things all they want. Spock never had a sister. His father never did, adopted, some human. Like, none of that ever happened. Spock was never, had learning disabilities or,
no,
whatever else they're trying to do with him now. Like, just like to me, none of that ever happened.
no.
It's not in the original Star Trek. It's not ever referenced, so it's not
You'll
canon.
share this opinion, but as far as I'm concerned, TNG ended with all good things
Yep.
because
Yeah.
the movies are a different interpretation of TNG. I mean, I like
Uh,
Generations. Don't get me wrong. I do like Generations. I don't like
yeah.
some of the choices that they made, obviously. Um,
No. No.
but I didn't. I thought Generations was a very expensive episode.
Yeah.
Um, but and it was very towards the end of the film. It's where it sort of started getting very action Picardy. Um,
Yep.
and yeah, it didn't work. You're absolutely right, mate. With regards to Doomcock saying, "Oh, stay angry, everybody," it's like, no, anger in your life is incredibly toxic. It
Yep.
has an incredibly toxic effect on your own psyche.
And that's
Now,
going to affect your relationships. That's going to affect your work,
exactly,
your
it's going to
school.
affect
If
your
you're in
physical
school.
health
Yep.
as well. And you become tired, you become drained, you
Yep.
become less than what you were if you stay angry.
Yep.
And again, I'm not a religious person. I never really have been. I consider myself very spiritual and open to new ideas. But it is interesting how preaching the light and how going to the lighter side of life and bringing a sense of balance. If you stay in the darkness, that's where you go. If you become too light, you become, well, to be fair, a complete and utter idiot. If you go too far, the balance is really important, but you cannot be an angry person. You cannot stay it, otherwise you just become bitter. And
that's not saying you don't feel something when something happens or you don't respond accordingly.
Exactly.
That's fine, but you don't stay angry.
Yeah, and what's the point in staying angry? This is the point I made. Sorry to sort of interrupt, but this is the point I made in when I did the stream between 10 forwards, when we had that long break, where I just said, look, I'm tired. I'm getting tired of doing this over and over again and reporting on how bad something is and how much I dislike it. And, they've got a hatred for us. They were attacking us, and then I don't want to be mean about people. I don't want to be vicious and vindictive and all of these negative things towards people. I just want to stand and say, I don't care anymore what you call it. I don't care about Neil Druckmann. I don't care about Alex Kurtzman. I don't care about anything that Kathleen Kennedy is doing to Star Wars, because it's not Star Wars. It's not Star Trek. It's not The Last of Us. The Last of Us Part 2, as far as I'm concerned, is a bad fucking dream and it needs to go away. Star Trek, New Trek. We already had this discussion on 10 Forward. If we had the choice to eliminate all New Trek in favour of getting something that was a truly OG Star Trek, all of it would go, even the stuff that we liked. We'd just get rid of it all and forget it all. But if you stay angry and you stay negative, you will become very depressed very quickly, and that's where I started going.
Yeah, and I heard this quote, and it's more of a religious. Well, it's definitely a religious take, but you can. I feel like people can still apply it to their own lives. And it was talking about something different. It was this guy talking about quote unquote gaming content creators. He likes to kind of make fun of these people, like Dreamcast guy, stuff like that. He likes to make fun of these types of YouTubers. And like at one point, he was talking something about politics had come up, and he just kind of was like, "Look, you cannot be closer to God if you follow politics." And that statement hit me. Like I don't know what it was, but that hit me right there. And I'm not going to get preachy about religion or anything like that, but and I thought about it, and I was like, because I've had friends on the left and the right that are hardcore into it, and they are the most unpleasant to be around people.
Yeah, they're unhappy.
Yeah. And it's like, bro, I mean, these people don't care about you anyways, and you're supporting them. And then, you just see them. They're always angry because they're kind of doing, like you said, like before you took that break, where it's like, oh, well, this side's always doing this or this side's doing that. And it's like, okay. So it's like I don't even want to call it woke, because it's not actually the proper term. But like when they do stuff like that in modern stuff now, it's like, I expect them to do that. I don't like it, but oh well. Like,
you expect it. They're just doing it to fill the diversity quotas. I understand.
And
but I don't care. It's why I don't really bring it up on my channel in my videos. I don't really bring up the wokey dokey stuff. I'll make reference to it every now and then, but I'm not going into great detail about why I don't like the fact that what's his name, Colbert and Stamets are together. It's just what you come to expect from Star Trek.
And there's so much about the writing that you can make fun of and point out what's wrong with to begin with. You don't have to go there.
You don't,
and that's just it.
And they don't have to go there, but that's where they're going. And speak with your wallets, guys. Everybody out there, speak with your wallets. Don't buy it. Don't buy into it. I'm not buying the next Call of Duty, because it's just shit. I'm going to stop wasting my money, and I'm going to spend it on something else I really want to buy, something decent.
Exactly.
I bought 3 model kits, spent a hell of a lot of money on them, by the way. But 3 model kits from the 1990s, Star Trek model kits.
Ooh.
And I think I put it in the Discord, but if I didn't, I will. One's a fiber optic Deep Space Nine.
Oh, cool.
Fucking love it. I wanted that since I was like 14. Yeah, and I finally got it.
Nice.
And it was sealed as well. And I broke the seal because I want to build the fucker. It's not an investment. That's me. That's my inner child wanting to build that model. But either way,
Yeah, absolutely.
I bought that because they're better models than the modern shit that you get.
Yep.
Because the more screen accurate and they're cared more.
Yeah. And that's just the thing I would encourage people to do. Focus on things you like. Focus on positive things. Like, do things that make you happy.
100%. 100%. And in some ways, that's why I got away from the... while we were talking about Doomcock, I did a bit of reflection and thinking, well, yeah, my channel started out with me going on tirades and rants and, about how ridiculous Star Trek was. And in some ways, I've just moved past it now because I want to do more positive stuff. I want to do those retrospective reviews about my favorite episodes, the ones that didn't do very well. I want to focus on some positivity and talk to Watch Nerd about For All Mankind because it's such an amazing show. And talk about The Expanse and all the great stuff that has come out that we really like. That's why I still design starships. It's my happy place. Yeah, absolutely. Sci-Fi Shipyards. He designs starships. It's this happy place. It's a place where we can be creative. I can paint, I can draw, I can do all these things with my life and bring some light into it rather than monetizing, not hatred, because I don't think they're monetizing hatred, they're monetizing depression.
Yep. And like when I first discovered your channel, because it was Picard season 2, episode 2, I always remember that because I went back and watched your episode 1 and I was like, wow, this guy liked episode 1. So did I. Like, I actually thought that was, I mean, we talked about it. I've got ideas for something I want to talk to you about with that. But I mean, your reviews then were still genuine. Like, yeah, you ranted a lot, but like, I mean, that's the place I was at. And I think a place a lot of Star Trek fans still were at that time and probably still are. It resonated with me at the time because that's where I was. I was still in that, hey, I'm mad we're not getting good Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like you've said, I think we both moved past it now.
Yeah, and when I review Academy, because I'm going to have to do it, I'd be stupid not to. When I review Academy, it's going to be a simple case of, well, it's not Star Trek, so it doesn't bother me. This is Star Trek 90210, and it's ridiculous. This is stupid. That's stupid. They've got this wrong from. They've got this wrong from Star Trek, and they got that wrong from Star Trek. I'm just going to be laughing all the way through because to me, I think it's funnier to laugh, and you get a lot more from laughing about it and laughing it off. I did start out serious because, like you said, we were Star Trek fans, and this wasn't Star Trek, and they were attacking us for having. And gaslighting us constantly to say, oh, look, this is Star Trek. Well, it's not, but it is Star Trek, and you never knew what Star Trek was. You didn't get the memo, and getting us riled up. But yeah, we're in the post-rage era. Yeah, we've just had enough. We just don't care anymore. Do what you want to fucking do. You're going to lose money. You're going to get bought out by Skydance, and they're going to shaft you if you don't perform. So that's on you. I'm out of here, and you've lost any ounce of loyalty that I had to you for anything decent that you created. I liked Prodigy, so did my co-host. I thought it was a really good show. Yes, it was aimed at a younger generation, but it actually had really decent story to it every episode, and quite a decent sort of arc for Voyager. But get rid of it if it was, because it's just it's not original Star Trek. But you just disconnect, mate. Disconnect from it all. Yeah, Watchner says for All Mankind and The Expanse encapsulate great modern sci-fi. They do, and that's exactly what modern sci-fi should be. And I recommend anyone who hasn't seen For All Mankind to go and watch For All Mankind. It is Star Trek as you would probably imagine it would be today, in this story sense, if it was any good.
Yeah, and I just think that, like, with the world getting the way it is now, like I said earlier, I give humanity till 2050, give or take a few years, obviously, but around
Yeah,
there. I just think we need to focus on positive things as much as we can, because
yeah,
there
we
are
do.
negative things we have to focus on. Things are going to happen in our lives, but
100%.
it's like, when that time is yours, when it's your free time, you've done all the cleaning you need to do, you've taken care of the kids. It's your free time.
Yeah,
You're choosing how to spend it. Do things that you like.
yeah,
Don't do things that are gonna bring you down.
yeah. No, 100%.
That
That's full on life advice, because you'll be so much happier. Yeah, and
yeah.
I get a lot of comments saying thanks for watching this, so I don't have to. I'm happy to do that, and I always took that for granted, just thinking, oh yeah, well they're still gonna watch it, or I'm not doing anyone a great service, but people are genuinely thanking me for giving them the all the steer clear warning, because
Yeah.
they can then focus on the things that really matter.
And that's like Discovery, for example. I had seen some reviews of season one. I'd seen the first probably 7 or 8 episodes, whatever it was before that, because I remember they went on a break. Because I gave it like a couple episodes, realized I wasn't liking this, so I just used something I would get drunk on a Friday night and watch and laugh at. That's what it became for me. And then
Yeah.
they went on a break, and I was like, why am I going to come back to this? I don't want to. Like, and so I just stopped at that point, and I never watched that show again. Like,
Yeah.
if not for your channel, or there's another channel that I watch, I would not know what happened in season 5 at all.
Hmm.
I have no idea what happens in season 4 at all. I couldn't tell you what happened in that at all. I've heard a few I've heard a few things on some stuff that happened in season 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Of course, I know about Pike in season 2, but like, for the most part, I couldn't tell you what happens in Discovery, because I didn't watch it, and I didn't really watch many reviews on it, except for season 5 with your channel. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I was like, I decided early on I don't care about this, so I stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. You just walk away and be done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's amazing, really. It's like when. So if you live in a house that's close quarters and cluttered, I do. I live in a house that's close quarters and cluttered, as you can tell. I'm slowly getting stuff on the walls, and it's getting there. If you live in an untidy space, you're not going to feel as good as you will in a tidy space.
Yep.
And you're not going to feel. It's like I can't truly relax if the place is a mess. So I have to tidy it up first, which usually means I don't get to relax.
Yep.
It's that age-old story. It's like, oh, I can afford to buy games now, but I don't have the time to play them.
Yep.
It's incredible. You find the things in life that you love to do, and you find the things in life that bring you happiness, and your life will improve tenfold. You stay in the darkness. It's so easy. It's so easy as someone who suffers with depression. I know that. I know that we. And I know that people do. It's very difficult to get out of depression. Some people.
But it's so easy to fall into it.
Exactly. It's like a goddamn black hole.
Yep.
And it's so easy to fall into the pit of despair. But I've been there several times, and I always manage to climb myself out by thinking, right, this may make me seem like a heartless prick, but I no longer care, because I can't afford to care. I've got no more spoons to give.
Yep.
I now have to focus on myself, on my family, and my job, and I have to find things that I enjoy, and if I stop enjoying something, I'm going to stop doing it. I used to learn. used to play the guitar. I was learning to play the guitar until it stopped bringing me joy.
Yep.
And it brought me frustration. So I was like, no, I don't care enough about this to keep going. And with a lot of things that, like hobbies and stuff, if you're not enjoying it, the repair stuff, I'm not enjoying it. I fix stuff as a necessity. I don't do it to educate people because I need educating myself. So I'm not going to pretend to be someone who fixes stuff. I just fix what my own shit. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I love gaming. I back in April when I started the gaming channel, and if it's UK Danger Man Gaming or UK DM Gaming, if you're not already subscribed to that channel, I think the link's in the description somewhere. But if you, I thought, you know what, I miss streaming games. It's fun to stream games. It's fun to have an audience there watching you. I used to have a mate of mine would religiously come round and watch me play games. He never really wanted to sit there playing them. He just wanted to sit there and watch me play them.
Yeah.
And people get enjoyment out of that. I get enjoyment out of that. And it's nice and easy, nice and simple to set up. I've got my PlayStation 5 hooked up to my PC, all good to go. I can start a stream in about 5 minutes, and I'm just happy. So you do the things that make you happy, regardless of whether it makes anyone else happy or not. And focus on what's important and what's right in front of you. That's my advice to everybody. Everybody who watches my channel, if they're doing it for a laugh and they're watching me for a laugh, by all means, have a laugh, because I plan to fucking have one. But I'm not going to get depressed about the state of gaming, the state of Newtrek, because we've got things that cannot be taken away.
Yep.
And if people come to try and take that stuff away, they're going to have a fucking resistance. They're going to have a fucking rebellion.
Yep.
That's
why I encourage people
physical copies.
Yeah, that ties into what I was going to say. That's why I encourage people get the DVDs or Blu-rays of stuff you like. That way they can't ever take it away from you.
Yeah.
Like how many times I remember I used to have a friend who probably about 10 years ago was like, well, if you want to watch Stargate, why don't you just subscribe to Netflix or whatever the platform they were on at the time? And I'm like, because I have the DVDs, I've ripped them into video files.
And they can't be altered.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't be altered. They can't be changed.
Well, look at Stargate, for example. They altered the pilot. Like they completely redid the pilot, like with I think alternate takes and whatnot, like several, more than a decade ago now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can even find the original pilot on whatever streaming service it's on.
No.
Like they went with the new one, and it's like, well, that's great. Like, I saw it once, and I'm like, okay, but I liked the original one better.
Well, at the drop of a hat, they can change the music soundtrack.
Yeah.
They did it with Supernatural. They've done it with loads of other shows. And physical copies, they can't alter them. They can't change them. And this is why I like the PlayStation 1 and 2 so much, because the games couldn't be altered. The game was burned onto a disc, and as soon as it was burned onto a disc, that was it. It was made. It had gone something called gold. It had gone gold, and it gets written, then sent off to the copiers to be produced.
And while some people won't like it, a certain line Claire says in Code Veronica to Alfred, that line that ends in freak cannot be altered.
No, it can't. It can't be. And you've got that, and you've got these I think personally disgusting, sick messages at the beginning of media that says this game was made for a different era and a different audience. We want to maintain the original spirit of the game, so we kept it all in. It's like, why are you putting that? Why are you pre-apology? Yeah, it was in the Tomb Raider trilogy. It was in the fucking Metal Gear Solid Delta. Why the fucking hell are you doing this? Why the fucking hell are you pre-apologizing to people?
Guys,
so sorry if you're offended. What's in there that's so offensive?
Exactly. Like, there was nothing about Tomb Raider that I could see that would be offensive.
Unless you're offended by pyramid breasts, I don't get it.
Right? Yeah, I don't.
Triangular body features. Right.
Like, it's like, there wasn't anything to be offended by. It was some chick going around, like, doing adventuring. Like, what's to be offended?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but if she's raiding sites, ancient sites for Native American sites and Indian burial grounds and stuff like that, that's the game.
Yep.
Hell, it's like Resident Evil 5 set in Africa. Yeah? People said, you can't go around. That's racist. You can't do that. It's like, but it's set in Africa.
Yeah, who else are you going to go after? I
Not
mean,
South Africa, Africa.
yep,
So who else are the bad guys going to be? You know, or I
exactly.
say the bad guys, the victims, because they're all victims.
They are like,
The
yeah, they're
victims
victims
of
of
it.
Wesker.
Yeah, victims of Wesker, victims of an outbreak.
Yeah,
What's you know? Oh, but people might be offended.
like
It's like
they didn't say anything about Resident Evil 4 when that came out.
no, of course not.
Like,
Oh,
it always
yeah.
seems to be towards one thing, and I don't want to get too into this because
Mm,
I don't want to. I don't
no,
want to take your stream down that road. I don't want to take my channel down that road either.
no, no,
But
no.
yeah, but it's just I just know it's always one thing,
Mm,
and I'll just leave it at that. And it's like I don't think most of the people that fall into that one thing are like that. By the way, I think
no, no.
most of them are just normal people that want to live their lives. So
Exactly.
like
People
I
just
don't
want to
blame them.
live and get on with their lives.
Yeah,
I don't want to
and be
tiptoe around
entertained.
things
Like
that I say on this stream because I'm
yeah,
broadcasting to I don't know, on average about 30 people at the minute.
right.
That's not the stream figures. That's people coming in and out and in and out.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I have to go and do something. I'll say goodbye. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Brilliant hearing from Reaver and seeing you all in the chat. Take care. That's Guna, by the way. Take care, my brother. We'll
Take care,
see you
Gunnar.
very soon. Sci-Fi Shipyard says, having recently rediscovered my faith as a long-time sufferer of depression that almost drove me to self-termination or self-deletion. I better change what I say. And at one point, the power of daily prayer has helped me immensely. And I think that's really important. Whether I believe what you believe, or you believe what I believe, or you don't believe what I believe and I don't believe what you believe, the fact of the matter is you found something that isn't hurting people, that is
Mm-hmm.
something that you have that helps you. And I think
And
that's
mate, I'm
really
glad
important.
you're doing a lot better too.
Hell, mate, it's so nice to hear. It's so warming to hear that that you are doing better, and that has helped you. For me, the thing that gets me out of depression is time, time and disconnection.
Yeah.
Not only from problems that I'm facing, or people that I'm facing problems with, but also a bit of disconnection from the things that are causing the problem in the first place. A big part of my
Yep.
job is taking things to the source of the pain, the source of the problem. Why am I low? Why am I down? Well, it's this reason, that reason, that reason, that reason. Eliminate those things from your life until you have the strength to deal with them. But know that you are never alone. You are never alone in this planet. This is why I love my community. My community's on YouTube, Discord, with friends, and we help each other. And when someone's down, we send a nice message. And to all those people that did that with me, thank you very much. When you are suffering, we're here to help. We're not here to hold your hand throughout your life. We're here to pick you up again.
No.
We're here to boost you.
Yeah.
We're here to show our love and our support for you, because it doesn't matter. There's things that Xell disagrees with me on. There's things that Reaver disagrees with me on.
Yep.
Disagreement. It's a beautiful
Okay.
thing. It's a beautiful thing. Diversity of opinion. I love it, but I think that message has been lost in the world, and I think it needs to be put back out there that no one is truly alone. You're not facing this alone. And things like the things that we love being destroyed. Yes, it's tragic, but we'll always have Paris.
Yep. Like it's kind of like a relationship that went bad. It's like, well, you always have the good times. Like, yeah, it's not what it was anymore. That's okay. Like, appreciate the good times, and then look for the next thing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you and I have been a bit of a support rod for each other in the background, without going into detail.
I want to point this out too, just not to promote you a bit more, but yeah, it was about like a month or two ago. You helped me out because as I mentioned, I'm visually impaired, and I was trying to grocery shop online, and there was something I was looking for at the time where it's like I was looking at the images and the things that they were bringing up in my search result, and I'm like, I can't tell if this is what I'm looking for. And you came on voice chat with me to help me out with that.
And you still got the wrong one.
No, I no, what
No,
I got
no,
works.
yeah, it kind of
Yeah, it
worked.
worked.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
worked.
it worked out okay.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah,
exactly.
once I realized what I was dealing with, I was like, okay, I can make this work. And
Yeah.
it was fine.
And it's no different than that sort of thing is no. I appreciate you bringing that up, but it's no different than someone asking you for help. I need
Yeah,
help. I need assistance. I need support. I need something.
yeah.
And I'm constantly telling people, look, I'm not going to be your agony aunt, and I'm not going to
Mm-mm.
be your psychologist. But if you need me to listen, I will sit there happily and listen. And I will give you some input if you want some. If you just want to vent, that's fine. If you
Yep,
want to vent about how bad Star Trek is, vent away. Come onto the
absolutely.
Discord, come onto the live chat. We're all there to help. And I think it's particularly difficult at the minute. And we get chastised for saying these sorts of things, and it creates a big problem. But I'm going to say it now. I think men in particular are having a bit of a rough time at the minute because they've
Yep,
been vilified and demonized, and
yep,
made to feel that they can't express themselves. They can't, you know, um, they can't feel things, and they shouldn't have been toxic, and they're a danger to society, and all of
yep.
this horrible narcissistic stuff that men are told on a regular basis.
Hmm.
And my message is very clear on this. If you are a male and you are feeling so put down by the world that you feel that your only option is self-deletion, I will tell you now, please don't. Please find a support group. There are plenty out there. Please find people to help you, because there is no problem that's so big it can't be solved in time. With
Well,
time.
and if you do that, then the people telling men all these things, they win if you do that. If you
Exactly,
give up like that.
100%. They win, and they're not agree that mental health is important. Need to safeguard your well-being first and foremost. Yeah,
Yep, yep.
it's a very difficult. Man down
It's
support
tough.
groups are available anywhere in the UK. They're free
Yeah,
and no booking required. Just show up and talk, and they'll listen. Yeah, listen. They'll go to the Samaritans, go to self help groups. Facebook has them. People locally, I think there's one that's running locally for me. Occasionally, look, we do need that support. We can't be manly men all the time. We do need help and support, and we, like I say, if you're sick of being vilified, we've been vilified by Star Trek, for fuck's sake. The very thing that we love, we've been vilified for, or
yep,
vilified by. Saying that, and especially, my skin color is white. I'm a white British person. Um, am I proud to be a white British person? I don't know. I was born with the skin color that I have in the place that I was born. I simply tried to
yep.
get through my life by being the best fucking person I know how to be, and I don't know how I don't know how else to live my life. Stop telling me how I'm doing everything fucking wrong. Just
Yep.
because I happen to be white and born in this country. I'm a human being. Damn it. We're all
Yep.
human beings. Stop attacking each other. Stop fighting one another. Stop accusing another person of being the most heinous person on the fucking planet just because they share a different opinion than you. To the point where
Yep.
people are just looking for a way out. It's
Hmm.
disgraceful. It's disgusting. And I've had enough.
And I think that's something where more people need to get out more. And I realize the hypocrisy of me saying that, but it's like
Mate, all my cool shit is here.
I'm a self-proclaimed hermit, so I
Mm,
know it. I know what
so
I
am
am.
I.
But but like at the same time, it's like you notice like if you get out and interact with people at a bar or at a restaurant or in the grocery store or wherever it is you go, like people aren't talking about this stuff. They're
Mm,
not they're not concerned with how many boxes are ticked in this thing and
no.
oh, all men are evil. Like that's not what they talk about
This is
typically.
not
Like,
everyday life. This is
yeah.
just this is an aberration, an abnormality that has
And that's what
been
go
made very public by the internet.
Yep. And that's what, again, I go back to what we were talking about before. It's like that's why you gotta do things to make yourself happy, take yourself away from the things you can get rid of that are, bringing you down or bringing you to a bad place,
Yeah.
like, because I could watch these modern Star Trek shows. I could, but what am I going to get positive out of it?
You're not going to
Like,
get anything. You're not going to get anything out of it,
exactly.
mate. You're just going to get depressed.
Yeah, it's like I don't feel like sitting there watching stuff that's going to tell me, "Oh, you're a white male, so you're bad." Like,
Hmm.
I don't feel like dealing with that. Like, it's
No.
like I realize that's what modern entertainment is. Okay, I'm just not going to engage in it.
Yeah.
Like, that's just it's like
Yeah.
I've got my old shows, I've got my old games, and there are still some games coming out that I enjoy, so
Yeah, of
that's
course.
fine so far.
Stellar Blade.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I got to get you on one of those videos one day
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I've got to actually get the game when it comes down in price.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start closing up now because I've got to get some dinner. The wife is asking when are you done? When are you finished? So I apologise for cutting this a little bit short. But to you, Reaver, I apologise.
All good.
So I just want to get through a few more of the chats in here. Sci-fi. No, sorry. DJ Play Nice. I co-host a mental health and violence prevention show on another channel every Saturday night. It's often the best 30 minutes of my week. My friend, if you want to plug that, you feel more than welcome to. Either in the Discord or in this chat or on, just plug away, mate. Because anything that we can do to help, anything we can
Absolutely.
do to help.
That's great.
Yes, phenomenal. Modern Star Trek is depressing, says Watch Nerd. I have said this many times, but wouldn't bother watching it if I wasn't on 10 forward. Yeah, the thing is, it actually gets quite depressing that Watch Nerd is having to watch this drivel, and Xell is having to watch this drivel to help me co-host a Friday show where we talk about it. And at any point, if you or Xell feel that you just can't do it anymore, please let me know, because I will just stop. I'll just stop. We'll just stop talking about it. We'll go to a happy place. We'll talk about stuff that is really cool. Well, fuck it. We'll I want to start doing that anyway. Got to keep the missus happy. Yeah. Well, to be fair, the kids are practicing their cooking skills tonight, so it's going to be interesting. The lads making rice and naans, so it's all cool. I agree, the mentor, yeah. So yeah, I mean, we went off in a bit of a tangent there, but that's the whole point of these conversations. Is to.
Well, this is how our conversations go.
It's usually this is what we're talking about. Yeah, a lot of the time. A lot of the time, it's about why won't our channels launch, and why aren't we more popular with the world? We hate YouTube and the algorithm and all of that stuff. But it's always a pleasure to speak to you, Reaver. It's always a pleasure.
Great. Always a pleasure to speak to you too.
You become such a dear friend of mine, and that's another thing I can say about YouTube and what it's given me. It's given me the skills, but it's also given me the friendships with some absolutely wonderful people, of which I would never have met otherwise.
Absolutely.
And it's so heartwarming to have everybody on this channel that join the community, join the Discord, that come in and say hello and continuously say, how is everybody? It's so nice to have that. DJ Play Nice says, it's impossible for me to overemphasize how key music and mental health is. Embrace the best part of you through the sounds that you love. Escape is just headphones away. Yeah, very, very, very true. Music's a good healer. But I would like I say, I couldn't imagine. I can't imagine a world where I don't have you as my friend. So thank you very much for joining me on this stream, my friend. It's been an absolute pleasure. Everybody out there, this is great, and we will continue with the conversation with subscribers. I'll get Gooner on, I'll get Sci-Fi Shipyard on, DJ Play Nice if you are interested, by the way, and you want to come and talk about what you do. Then you're more than welcome on my stream, sir. Lovely to have met Danger Man, Xell, Gooner, Reaver, Games Librarian, and everyone else through this channel. Very grateful for this. Much appreciated, all of you. Thank you so much. Again, salute and thanks for hosting. You rock. Thanks, mate. And I appreciate that.
And I just want to reiterate everything that you said. I agree on, like, just the wonderful people that you can meet through YouTube, Discord, all that.
Yeah.
It's such a blessing. It's meant a lot to me too.
I really appreciate that, my friend. It's not the cesspit everyone thinks it is, but you just have to be very
Exactly.
careful. You find the right
Yeah.
people. You get rid of all the toxic in your life, and your life improves.
Yep.
Something absolutely wonderful. So,
Absolutely.
so much love to all of you. Much love to you, Reaver. I have got to go now. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye bye
Have
for
a good
now.
Sunday, everybody.
Take it easy.